Paciencia.
Me, myself, and I still pushing forward, I'm ahead like die. Standing on my flow with my head to the sky. Pass on a bitch, young rip, drop dimes. It's been a rough road, gotta look for the signs. I'm married to this music, so I cook for my bride. Flip out like a skateboarder, look how I grind. It took a long time, but I'm right on time. I'm progressing, that's progressive, I got bars like a correction. Still chasing petty cash, that's a mantis. I want extra, I stop searching for my pops. I hold my nuts just like a checkup. I get physical, I'm copping just like Interpol. I play on words like a syllable, to me the world is fading. Hold this L just like a Laker, like a birthday, my shit caking. It get messy like an apron, I pick out just like some bacon, and I sizzle like it too. Can't forget about you, boo, it feel like we on a loop. Same shit, different day, I don't know what's really true. I get high as I leave hoops, who gon' give me what I'm owed? Man, I guess nobody knew, and I know that money talks, so what it said is probably true. It's the feeling that I get, and the shit I'll probably do to get through or get by. I get fly, cause I'm Jeff Goldblum in my mind. Tell them hoes to fall in line. If you thought I fell off, bitch, I'm back like my spine. Hot as homemade pie, that's the pro rate, ma. I'm a pro, ain't I? Sniff it out like K9s. I'm a thief, it take time to be great, I'm Bayside. I get blue like Kelly Parker, when I'm gone I left a mark. Tell them fish I'm still a shark, I got will, I will embark on this journey till it's finished. In the midst of all this friction, I got vision on my P's like no limit. Like a mouse, now we clicking, I go out for the spinach, that's business.
Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above, we used to feel like a glove. I still think about the you that only exists in my brain. Nothing ever stays the same, guess it's just a shame. There's no one to blame.
Stop looking for somebody else to lay the blame. Without a wave of change, life stays the same. So when I pull up to your spot, I'm with a paradigm chick. Only used to have one and it's my paradigm ship. Calls for celebration, I cracked a hen. I took a hiatus, but I'm back again. A bunch of blue face hundreds, I've been stacking them. Cause in the game of life, I just have to win. So when I'm in go mode, I be ballin' insane. Tried to walk away, they was calling my name. My brothers from another, we are all in the game. Don't give a fuck about clout nor all of the fame. I'm trying to inspire, empower, build and progress at a steady rate. Move heavyweight like a Bowflex. The haters make me greater, they mad, I got them so stressed. Shock my style for a while now, I can show text. Screenshots as proof and receipts. You a certified clown, been a goof in the streets. Angel made the beat, but this my demon flow. Get a lot of love from people I don't even know. And when the situation's ugly like Dudley, we do right. Fuck propaganda, let's conquer and unite. The wait's over, take over, it's commencing. My money fully grown, but yours like an infant. But that ain't no shade to you, it's just provision and protection, what you made to do. Being a man with a purpose, who you supposed to be. Living life as a loser, that's a joke to me. FN 509, stay close to me. If I pull it, I'ma spray like some potpourri. I don't wanna have to go there, so hopefully you don't try to have no beef or no smoke with me. Bro, everything I'm talking about, be backing it up. I'm back in the cuts, rapping the Dutch and macking a hut. She start to get aroused when I'm smacking her butt. Baby got stupid cheeks and she be clapping it up. I'ma enter through the front and hit the back of her guts. She a classy lady but be acting a slut. When we be kissing and cuddling, my bitch like to hug. Her box customized so it fit like a glove.
If you know the song, sing along. Yeah, you're right.
私も地元民と言っても実際すらいです。もう友達できたの？うん。ぶったまんまこっち見ない方がいいかな。
None of your competitors better catch up like 10 steps ahead. Look, this promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow-mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting moto. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no ho, no ho. This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude in the trap making packs move. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji, eating tandoori and chicken curry. That ism is really indie. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of bad
Lemon has been in the news quite a bit lately. Stop it, Joy.
Are these
And we're so glad that he's here today just to keep her in check. Please welcome back our friend Don Lemon.
Yes.
Thank you. Joy, it's merch. See the lemon, the socks.
You're selling
This is his
I'm
merch.
giving it to you as part of my merch.
I like it.
Yeah.
You're selling it.
But wait,
Yeah,
before we get
download.com,
into
go.
before we do that, we got to tell people what went on in case you were, under a rock and didn't see.
Yeah.
In January, you were arrested and charged by the DOJ with 2 counts of criminal conspiracy against the right of religious freedom after you were reporting on a protest inside a Minnesota church. A few days after the protest, you were then in LA covering.
I still got a problem with this, man. Anybody here go to church? When was the last time you were at a church and some reporters came in there with activists and interrupted your church service? That's against the law, fam. Like that's
Hold on.
you don't do that.
My bad, y'all. I think I was muted the whole time. Bruh, my bad, man. I was cooking too. Hey, my bad, y'all. I literally was cooking. I just looked and my thing was on mute, bruh. Damn, man. So, man, my apologies. I feel bad, bro, because I was cooking and I can't really like recreate what I just cooked. You know how you just throw some meat on the grill and you like, hey, bro, could you make this slab of rib? It's like, man, I put a little extra loving into that meat. But once again, my apologies. Yeah, I did get your email. I just seen it today. I'm going to respond to you. So expect a email today.
And I do want to get, actually, you know what? I had a since I fudged up pretty bad, I want to say sorry to y'all.
Talo. Sorry.
Sorry. Man, so now I got to kind of speed through what I said. Essentially, what I was saying is Don Lemon is going on this victim tour, right? Cue the tiny violin for me, right? So Don Lemon is talking about that he's a victim, that, you know, he's been treated like a nigga. So mind you, Don Lemon, who is a light-skinned black person who is of the GAY community, he's married to a W man of the dominant society. He's been paid millions and millions of dollars by CNN, but somehow Don Lemon is a victim. Was he wrongfully targeted by Trump? Yes, but he put himself, he is an attention-seeking HOE. Don Lemon is an attention-seeking garden tool. So he's loving that Trump went after him because now this is making him relevant. Why wouldn't anyone buy any Don Lemon merch? And essentially, I went on a whole tirade about, because Don Lemon was saying, go buy my merch. But the rant that I went on, which I'm kind of pissed that it was muted, I said, stop buying brand names, brand your name. People used to have a certain level of prominence attached to their name. People would say their name with their chest. Now people, they put more value on someone else's name than their own. Whether it be Calvin Klein, Michael Kors, Vera Wang, Tommy Hilfiger, Michael Jordan, any other person, people are constantly and consistently valuing other people's name over themselves. People will buy a Gucci belt. It's just another belt, but it has someone else's name. So you'll pay $400 for that belt. For $400, you can go buy some wholesale shirts and hoodies, make your own logo, and walk around with your own branded product, right? So then you don't have to promote Gucci. You're promoting yourself and your own brand. And then, hey, where can I get a hoodie like that? Hey, well, you know what? This is a one of one, but if you really want this hoodie, I can press you up another one for a fee. Why are you supporting and promoting someone else's name over your own lineage and legacy? Many of these people have kids as well, and they're holding some designer name in higher prestige than their own family's name, right? People used to live on blocks. Hey, that's the Smith's house down there. Oh, this is the Johnson residence. You didn't live at the Versace residence. You didn't live at the Timberland residence. You didn't live at the Vera Wang residence. So why are you holding these names in such honor? Oh, they designed it. Yeah, you can design your own things. I'm not saying don't ever buy a name brand quality merch, but what do you truly get out of buying a Birkin bag, right? You can put that into your kids' college fund. You can put that into some sort of stock portfolio. There's multiple things that you can invest in rather than buying a name brand. Instead of a Birkin bag, you can start a business. What makes more sense? Starting a business that you can sustain or buying a bag that loses value day by day? Stop buying brand names and brand your name. And we've been joined by an illustrious guest, my boo. What it do in built-in. Now I'm gonna get right back into it. I'm gonna let a little bit more play because unfortunately I had an audio mishap. I was cooking, so like the first 10-ish minutes, it was on mute. All right, let's get back into it.
Thank you. Joy, it's merch. See the lemon, the socks.
You're selling this is his
I'm
merch.
giving them to you as part of my merch.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. But wait,
Yeah,
before we get
download.com,
into before we do that, we got to tell people what went on in case you were, under a rock and didn't see.
Yeah.
In January, you were arrested and charged by the DOJ with 2 counts of criminal conspiracy against the right of religious freedom after you were reporting on a protest inside a Minnesota church. A few days after the protest, you were then in LA covering.
I still got a problem with this, man. Anybody here go to church? When was the last time you were at a church and some reporters came in there with activists and interrupted your church service? That's against the law, fam. Like, that's, you don't do that. How can you then play victim when you get locked up for it, when you get a warrant for it? I mean, when you go into a place and interrupt them from doing their religion's different.
Now, I'm not a big church guy, but let's be honest. If you go in some of these black churches, some of these evangelical Confederate type churches, and even if you're just say, I'm just trying to peacefully protest or I'm just trying to peacefully ask questions, and you're disrupting their worship day, their service, you're lucky if someone just only answers those questions. Now, I'm not advocating for violence, but we already know Christians, and not just Christians, religion in general, right? Religion is rooted in subjugation and violence. Christians, especially in America, have been a very violent cohort. So you should be cautious going in there. I'm not advocating for this, but I mean, you play stupid games and you're gonna win a stupid prize. He won a stupid prize based on the stupid game that he chose to play, and now he's running around acting like a victim. And he's pretending as if he was locked down, like bro was really in the hole or something. They took his fingerprints, they took a mug shot and sent him on his merry way. And now because they did a theatrical perp walk, he's pretending as if he was in solitary confinement or something like that. And now Don Lemon went from CNN to YouTube, which they used to crap on YouTubers. Oh, you guys are just lowly YouTube content creators. Now since he got booted, they gave him the boot from CNN. Now he's on YouTube and he's trying to pretend that, hey, I'm still hot stuff. So that's why he's going on this victim tour, so that these mainstream outlets will keep his name relevant. I mean, it's quite pathetic. And now he's even acting as if he's fighting for the people. But what is he really doing? He's making a lot of money going around doing the same thing that he did on CNN. So the thing that he did on CNN, he's doing now on YouTube, but somehow he's fighting for the people because he drops an occasional F-bomb. Then you think, oh man, he's really edgy, right? Or because he says he's standing up for trans people and people of color, then you think that Don Lemon is some righteous person. When you look at how he was talking to CNN, he has no track record of supporting the working class. He has no track record of speaking highly and praising the black community. He has a track record of talking down to the black community while then going home. And I don't care about his sexual preference, but he's going home to a W person. But at the same time, now he's running around and wants to be saying he's being attacked because he was black. But when black people were talking about how racist this country was and how supremacy is entrenched in every fiber and fabric of this country, Don Lemon was part of the buck-broken, brain-dead class that would say, get over it. America's not a racist country. Stop complaining. What about black-on-black crime? This was Don Lemon. He still would be on this tip if he was on CNN. Now he's pretending that that's not who he is. So Don Lemon is not to be trusted. He's a snake. Don Lemonade is no friend of the black community. He's just saying, hey, big head, even though I crapped on the black community, even though I'm going home and getting bent over and railed from behind from his, vanilla man. Hey, I still love you, community. I don't care who you're with. Like, you can be with a white, yellow, purple person or whatever. But when you sell out your community and you refuse to call out the community that you're sleeping and spreading cheeks for, That's where the issue arises.
Go into a place and interrupt their services. That's a law. You can't. You're interrupting their worship. It's like you're preventing them from doing that. I mean, it looks like he got off, but I'm just saying. It's just they're just avoiding.
So FBA Strong says, I'm not in any church, but he could have interviewed the pastor after the service just to be clean and transparent in line with ethical journalism. Well, what they say, that's too much like right, FBA Strong. So he wasn't about trying to be ethical. He was about the theatrics and the entertainment, or what some would call infotainment, where you deliver information in an entertaining way, but it's designed to incite a reaction more so than enlightenment. So they want to keep the intrigue. They want to keep people entertained. They want to keep people enamored, holding on, waiting for bated breath. But yes, nothing is ethical about Don Lemon. He's a self-serving, buck-broken bozo and buffoon, unfortunately. But fortunately, we've been joined by an illustrious guest, Sincere Saida, in the building. What's up, Sincere? You ain't over there making them Easter baskets? Where you hiding them eggs at, Sincere? Oh, and here's a fun fact for any of the people that like Easter eggs, right? 78% of people who eat those eggs, the chocolate bunnies, they start with the ears, right? So that's a little quirky fact for y'all to celebrate. And Cadbury's, they make, I think, 1.5 million chocolate eggs a day. So do y'all like Cadbury? Do y'all like those eggs? And Sincere said, hell to the no. She ain't celebrating Easter. I thought she was going to dress up in, a little chocolate bunny, Sincere, jumping around for the Easter. And we've been joined by the East Coast brethren. It's midnight over there. Roger, I don't know if you celebrating Easter. Roger, you over there hopping around with your Cadbury's eggs, Nassau County. But hey, where Brooklyn at? Roger Meadows in the building. Let's get back into it, y'all.
To deal with actually what happened at all.
Bring the Grammys, and they arrested you in your hotel. Yeah. Federal agents came and did it.
Yes.
Man, I got a problem with that, man. There are people that get arrested who have warrants, who get arrested at their wife's funeral, who get arrested at the daycare center dropping their child off. I mean, no one gives a shit about anybody's regular people. These privileged prima donna elites. This happens all the time.
Unfortunately, y'all know the saying, niggas die every day, B. Hate to be harsh and hate to sound insensitive, but that's what people say. So-and-so got killed on the block. Man, that's messed up, man. That's hella sad. Man, what you talking about, man? Niggas die every day, B. Man, my cousin just blah. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, right? So Don Lemon is on his victim tour talking about how he got arrested. So if some people are poo-pooing niggas dying every day, what you think they feel about people getting arrested every day? Don Lemon got arrested and had his zaddy come and bail him out. He had a lawyer, a prestigious lawyer, on speed dial. They took his fingerprints and took a mug shot, which he had makeup and all, and was almost like a GQ glam photo. Where is the victimizing going? Now, I get it. Trump is overreaching with power. He's doing this tyrannical vendetta of, if you don't lick his boots, then he's going to go after you, right? But that's up to the dominant society. That's up to Don Lemon's husband to be calling out this overreach in power. And Don Lemon doesn't even really care about what's going on. All he cares about is, hey, I can get some headlines. Don't be surprised if Don Lemon writes a book out of this, right? He's going around pretending as if he was brutalized and treated. Don Lemon is pretending as if his life is the Shawshank Redemption. Don Lemon is pretending as if he survived the episode of Oz. As soon as he was in the precinct, before you can spell Don Lemon, he was already out of there. So I'm just saying, should he have been targeted and harassed? No, but to paint him out as this victim when there's plenty of people serving wrongful incarceration, but there's no coverage for that, right? It's not a spectacle. The View won't interview them because it's just a regular person, and they say, hey, niggas go to jail every day, B. Well, why should we care if Don Lemon, who is a privileged, pompous Nancy boy, like, why should we care?
Federal agents came and did it.
Yes.
And I got a problem with that, man. You know, there are people that get arrested who have warrants, who get arrested at their wife's funeral, who get arrested at the daycare center dropping their child off. I mean, no one gives a shit about anybody's regular people. These privileged prima donna elites. This happens all the time. People get arrested when they get arrested. You had a warrant out for you. Jesus, guys.
So you see these guys coming at you. You're thinking, who is that?
Whoopi, I didn't see them coming.
You didn't see them coming.
I got on the elevator. You know, you
Right.
turn and you hit the button. And as I
Right.
was hitting the button, someone grabbed me and I said, oh my God, I'm being mugged.
Right.
I thought I was being mugged. So I started, it was jostling. I started
Right.
pulling back.
Bullshit.
And they're like, we're federal agents. We're here.
Don Lemon or Don Lyman. But shout out to Last Call, Mr. Midnight Soul himself, reporting from an undisclosed location in the Eastern Hemisphere of the United States. And we got the hardest working mod on YouTube, none other than Vibrant Law in building. Let's get back into it.
To arrest you. I'm like, for what? Where's the warrant, right?
Yeah.
And so we had a bit of a struggle.
What you mean for what? See, this is how phony he is. Him and his lawyer were already trying to negotiate him turning himself in. So when they come and get you, how are you going to act like for what? I don't understand. I don't know what's happening. See, it's all bullshit, man.
Because I wanted to see a warrant. They didn't have it.
They didn't have the
They
warrant?
didn't have it.
You know what it's for, though. You know what it's for. It was all over the news. You knew what it was for. Wasn't for open displays of indecent exposure. It's because of this.
So they went outside to get an FBI agent. They showed that he brought a picture of a warrant on the phone.
He brought a
Roger said the Black Jim Acosta, and I know a lot of y'all don't know who Jim Acosta is. This is apropos. Jim Costa is a stumbling, bumbling buffoon, and so is Don Lemon. Now, both of these people are not idiots, right? They know how to be journalists. However, they're tools of the corporate elite in the establishment. So they know how to ask the right questions. However, they refuse to ask the right questions. And they always love to frame themselves as victims and that they're sacrificing for the greater good of humanity, and they're upholding the Constitution by practicing free speech. And they like to pretend that, hey, they're fighting for free speech. They're crawling so that you could walk with free speech. I'm not buying it, though.
picture of a warrant.
Picture of the warrant.
So now you can go and arrest somebody and hold up a picture and say, so can we do the, can we as
Whoopi's always talking and don't know what she's talking about. And you can also display your insurance that way, Whoopi. You could also display your driver's license the same way. Yeah, it's 2026.
Yeah, Whoopi is starting to look more and more like a DEI hire. And I know people use that inappropriately as a pejorative, but Whoopi, she might be that, because there's way too many times where she says some obnoxious and outlandish and flat out imbecilic things. I'm like, come on, Whoopi, how do you still have a job? Well, they know that she's on the team. See, these other people is getting increasingly harder to vet people because people could put on the front, hey, I'm playing ball, I'm part of the establishment, and then they can do a switcheroo. So instead of getting somebody that may do the switcheroo, they go with the tried and true, which is why they have Whoopi. They just keep trotting her out. They keep trotting out Gayle King. Gayle King is 71. So then if you try to say, hey, how about some fresh faces? They try to frame it as you're being ageist and you're trying to push her out because she's old. Like, you've lived a great life. You're 71 and you have millions and millions of dollars. No one's clamoring to just see a 71-year-old man or woman. No offense or no disrespect. It just kind of is what it is. If there's a swimsuit edition, do you want to see a 71-year-old on there? You know what I mean? If there's an actor and it's a new movie coming up and it's an action movie, do you want to see the 71-year-old actor playing an action film? I mean, there's going to be certain roles, but not everything. Like, sit down and pass the torch, you know. Whoopi, many of these people, it's just time to pass the torch. Now, The View is full of DEI hires, just to be clear. It's not just Whoopi. And I'm saying this facetiously, satirically, because I know that it's often misused inappropriately and as a pejorative. But man, Whoopi has a lot of brain dead comments. So I'm wondering how she still has a job. But that's rhetorical because she's part of the establishment and she's not going to upset the apple cart. That's why she will keep her job for years to come.
This is common.
As normal people say, hey, I'm an FBI agent. Here's my warrant. You go to jail.
Wow. Well, it's very similar to, you know, what happened to some of the folks in Minneapolis and beyond. They had, instead of you having a judicial warrant, they had, I forget what they call it, another kind of warrant.
A faux warrant.
Administrative warrant. Thank you.
ChatGPT mocked up.
Yeah. So look, mine was real apparently, but here's the thing. When I heard Todd Blanche and Pam Bondi and others talking about this, I got an attorney.
Right.
And my attorney emailed them and said, hey, if you guys are serious, let's do this right.
Yeah.
He'll turn himself in.
Yeah.
They call it self-report.
They didn't want to do that.
Didn't respond.
No.
I think they did it once. He did it once, maybe twice, but they...
See my point? So if you already knew this, you were negotiating getting turned in. It may be inconvenient. They may be assholes. And I'm not saying they're not when they come get you. But then how'd you act like you didn't know if it was them coming to get you? See, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. And you're sitting at the table and you can hear Don lying, not making any sense. And we just let it go because, well, it's Don. He's a Democrat. So we allow him to lie to us. To get.
And yeah, that's the thing too, where this is what I call nice and polite supremacy. Where if someone dresses nice, they're polite, they're clean cut. If someone is alluring or attractive to someone, they let them slide with their lies and stuff. That's why they say never trust a big butt and a smile. That girl is fill in the blank, right? And that's not just gender or sex based, but Don Lemon is going around. He has nice designer threads. He's looking snazzy and spiffy, right? And then he looks you in the eye and lie to you. He's a corporate stooge and a shill. But because he'll say a few buzzwords and bumper stickers that you agree with, somehow you think he's on your team. How could he be on your team? You're not even in the same tax bracket. You're over here saying, eat the rich. You think Don Lemon is saying, eat the rich? Don Lemon is part of the rich. Do you think he co-signs that? So imagine you want to learn about the NFL, right? Would you want to get the advice and the experiences and testimony from people who actually played in the NFL, whether they were current players or former players, they had experience playing in the league? Or would you want to get advice from someone who got cut from their football team? They don't have the lived experience to tell you about what it takes to get into the NFL and to survive the NFL. There's an acronym for NFL that stands for not for long. And I'm analogizing that to how can a millionaire fight for you, right? If you want to hear someone that can be relatable to your plight and tribulations through life, do you think Don Lemon is that guy? Are you supporting the people that actually come from where you come from, but want to see a greater good for humanity and society? Are you supporting them? Are you financially buying their merch? Because some people will buy the merch for Don Lemon and he's already a millionaire several times over. And then if I even ask for a cash app, why are you begging? Why is Don Lemon begging? I'm not a millionaire. Don Lemon is, though. But people will give monies to millionaires because they earned it. How did they earn it? If they see you on the street, they would say, don't touch me. They probably want to give you a signature. Me, I'll have you come up on the panel. I'll talk to you. I'll take you to lunch. Hey, you come to my town. You know what I mean? I'll show you around. Would Don Lemon do that to you? Do that for you? You know what I mean? But who would people really donate to? Who would people subscribe to? Don Lemon has done nothing for you, but as soon as you hear his name, some people will automatically subscribe to him. I'll say some stuff that people agree with, and they'll be like, yeah, but he don't really have that many subs, so I'm not gonna sub. I don't have that many subs because of people like you know what I mean, with your type of thinking. And that's perfectly fine. I don't really need a bunch of subs. I don't really, get I get a occasional sparing donations here and there, but I'm not doing it for that. I'm just making a broader point. Unfortunately, many people claim to support certain things and want to see change that they're unwilling to enact themselves, but they don't really put their money where their mouth is. Right now, I can show, hey, look, man, I'm coaching kids, mentoring kids. I put together my own backpack drive, my own STEM seminar. I'm putting together a health summit. I've done all this stuff just off the strength of my own money, right? And people be like, oh, that's all cool, man. That's great, man. You should keep it up, right? But they'll be unwilling to donate, right? But then these same people will talk about black on black crime and the community needs to do this. Like, bro, the people that's putting the work in the community, you're not donating to them. You're donating to content creators that want to beef, say black men ain't ish and call all black women as hoes. It's like you're donating to that type of stuff. Black people don't need no reparations. Y'all victims. That's what you're donating to. So, like, what are you even complaining about? Same thing with Don Lemon, right? He said it was no W supremacy and then this ain't a racist country. So what is Don Lemon complaining about, right? He said defund the police, like people shouldn't be saying that. So fine, fund the police more and let them run amok and do what they've been doing to us. Why should Don Lemon be exempt, right?
Gaslight us as if he was afraid and didn't know what was happening. He thought, so it's feeding into this whole thing. That ICE, nobody knows is ICE. It could be anybody. It could be the cartel trying to kidnap the undocumented person. They have no way.
Oh, is that really her? Hold on.
Oh, damn. Dr. Brett, wait a minute. I know you. Wait a minute.
Is that really her or is that AI? Lady Snoop TV or Lady Snoop AI? So salute to Lady Snoop. I think this your first time sliding through. So Lady Snoop slid through. What it do? Came through doggy style. So let me see what Roger talking about in the chat. Hold on, Roger. What you know about Belle Biv DeVoe, bruh? Oh, Roger, you still wet behind the ears. What you know about Belle Biv DeVoe, bruh? Guy from that Boogie Down production song by KRS-One called Jimmy. Jimmy hats are now in style because you can't trust the big button to smile. Some are dry and some lubricated. Interesting. Okay, Roger. Roger is a little hip hop historian. Okay. Many companies make and made it so all you super hoes wear your hats because Haska's Drippin' Jimmy's is straight up whack. Keep in mind about Jim Browski Jimmy Hats by BDP. So we got the FBA family, New Orleans, the 504 boy, Wode, Braxton. What it do? Let's get back into it.
Even knowing who the officer was. It's feeding into that same bullshit. The Democrat. So we allow him to lie to us, to gaslight us as if he was afraid and didn't know what was happening. He thought, so it's feeding into this whole thing. That ICE, nobody knows is ICE. It could be anybody. It could be the cartel trying to kidnap the undocumented person. They have no way of even knowing who the officer was. It's feeding into that same bullshit. You know? That's all.
Did not respond.
Yeah.
And they sent, I don't know, 12, 15, maybe 20
People.
agents.
Right.
It's a waste of taxpayer
The more
dollars.
expensive
Because all
option. And the more theatrical.
He cares about taxpayer money. Me too, Me too, Don.
So here, and this is where the hypocrisy comes in. He said they sent about 12 to 15 agents to apprehend and arrest him, right? He said it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. But these are the arguments that people were making when they said defund the police. Now, some people are saying abolish the police, saying there should be no police, but I'm not talking about that radical idea. I'm strictly focusing on the core premise and essence of what defund the police actually means. It means allocation, a different allocation of resources. So if the police budget is $8 billion, right? Of that $8 billion, let's take $100 million and donate it to, you know, parks, recs, things that will enrich the community so that these young adults, they have outlets so that they don't have to turn to gangs, violence, you know, they have work programs and things like that. So, and this is not even asking, right? So let's say 100, you know, 100 million out of 8 billion. I don't have to do the math, right? But it's clearly nowhere close to 10%, and they're still whining about that. So defund the police, it sticks. But if you say, allocate the resources to community outreach, right? That it doesn't really have the same hit as a buzzword and a bumper sticker, but defund the police does. And they can frame it as, hey, they want to abolish the police. Some people were saying that, but the majority of people were saying, hey, look, we know you're going to fund the police. You're going to give them not only millions, you're going to give them billions. Out of those billions, just take a significant amount of millions and invest it in the community. They claim that they care about crime so much, but every year, cops keep asking for more money. Now think about this. What job could you do that? Imagine if you were a doctor and every year you kept underperforming on surgeries, or you didn't meet the quota on surgeries. Do you think that you can demand more money? If you were a mechanic and you were underperforming, if you were an athlete and you're underperforming, somehow with cops, every year, crime is out of control. Crime is out of control. Crime is out of control. It's like a broken record. Like, God damn, like, what are you guys doing if every year is out of control? Then on one report, they'll say crime is at a historic low. Well, yeah, crime is going down, but it's out of control. Like, huh? So crime is at historic lows, but it's out of control. Yeah, it's low, but it's still out of control though. How? You know what I mean? No, your coverage is out of control. Every year they're saying, look, we have drones, we have dogs, we have AKs, M16s, ARs, 9 millis, whatever you can think about, flash bang grenades, frag grenades. We have tasers that can hit you running away. We have tanks with battering rams. We have drones. We have robot dogs. We have canines. We have backup units. We can also call the National Guard. But I fear for my life. If you're scared, go to church. Maybe being a cop is not the profession for you. So can someone explain to me, with any other thing, right? They'll burn down a black community with a race massacre. And then when people talk about reparations, you can't throw money at the problem. Cops are failing year after year, failing. But guess what people want to do? Throw money at the problem. I thought you can't throw money at the problem. They're failing. Hey, cops can't solve any crime. If only we had more money. Okay, here's more money. Billions and billions. Man, crime is out of control. We can't solve them. It's like, so what do you need? Probably some more billions. You give them more billions. Man, crime is out of control. If only we had more billions to solve the problem. They have more mass surveillance than they ever did in the 80s, right? They know all of the crime is happening in a centralized area. So why is any crime happening at all? It's because they want the crime to happen so that they can beg every year, crime is out of control. Crime is out of control. And that's why we need overtime. And then you look into the cities, right? People will be like, what about Chicago? It's like, bro, you are from Wyoming. You live in Utah. You live in Ogden, Utah. You don't live around any black people and there's no crime. So why are you talking about Chicago? All of the people just challenge them, right? And then whatever city that they're talking about, take that city, look how many murders there are in the city. And since they blame them all on black people, right? Take the number of murders and multiply it by how many black men are in that city. You won't even get 1%. Now, we know black men didn't commit all the crimes, but we get all the blame. So, hey, for the thought process, go to Chicago, go to Oakland, type in how many. And if y'all want, I might even do it in real time here, but y'all can do it, right? And you don't have to be a math whiz, right? What about Chicago? Go to Chicago, see how many annual murders Chicago has. You take that number of murders and you divide it by the black male population in Chicago. You won't even get 1%. But, rather than focus on the 99% of the males that's not doing the crime, we have to demonize the entire group. I say, fine. We have to keep that same energy. So if less than 1% of any non-black community is racist, violent, bigoted, or pedophilish, I have to generalize the entire community, right? All generalizations matter, right?
All of a sudden, Don cares about taxpayer money. Hey, Don, did you care about all the taxpayer money spent on undocumented people? No. You don't care. Why now you care about how many officers came and got you? Come on, man. It's a waste of taxpayer money. All gaslighting, all theatrics, all bullshit.
All they had to do was, hey, Mr. Lemon, turn yourself in. Okay, where do I go? What's the address? I'll be there in however many minutes.
And federal prosecutors do that, and the Justice Department does that to send a message and to intimidate and to harass. And it's unfortunate, my friend, that you went through that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Sonny, I've been leaning on Sonny for counsel just as a friend. No legal stuff, but just as a friend.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They do it because they want.
And we've been joined by an illustrious guest, Johnson Different, a.k.a. Johnson Sinatra, in the building.
To embarrass people because they do it with everyone. They want to embarrass you. They want.
Yeah, they had to throw that in there. No legal counsel. That's how they got.
And shout out to McDowell. McDowell, is this the same McDowell from Coming to America? Hey, shout out to McDowell. Salute to the chat and salute to McDowell. Appreciate you.
Chris Cuomo. Because Chris Cuomo was helping his brother when his brother was going through the legal investigation, and CNN let him go over that. So that's why Don had all that to walk that back. Whoa. She's not actually helping me. She's my friend. So basically, I can say anything, and she's going to stick up for me. It's the same thing here. But now she wasn't helping me.
Yeah. But as my friend, who is also an attorney, said that they gave you the N-word treatment.
Yes.
Yes.
That is correct. Well, let me ask you this.
And there we go. That's the part I wanted to get to. That's right, folks. Don said he got the N-word treatment because
here we go again. So Don Sweet and Sour Lemonade saying he's got the N-word treatment. Hey, Donnie boy.
What? Ho, please. Nigga, please. Ho.
Nigga, what?
Nigga. Nigga, please. Nigga, please. What?
Okay.
he got arrested. Well, I want you to know, for the record, there are a lot of N-words. A lot of people getting the N-word treatment every day that aren't Don Lemon. Yeah. Lots of people are getting the N-word treatment. America is the mass incarcerator of the Western world. We still hold the record, Don. And guess what? You weren't even held overnight. Yeah, you were held for like, what, 2 seconds? What is this? Did he even go to jail? I don't even think he even went to jail. He was in a holding cell. He got processed and set in a holding cell. He didn't even go to gym pop. He wasn't even given a cell. And this guy's complaining. He's on The View saying he got the N-word treatment. I don't think you know what the N-word treatment is. And see what I'm saying, fam? That's how disgusting it is, how they love to unpack black.
John know what the N-word treatment is. Where Big Rig at? Big Rig know. Travion, they know what the N-word treatment is. Don Lemon doesn't know what the N-word treatment is. The only time he tries to play the infamous race card is when he thinks that he can get some mileage out of this identity politics. Now, don't get me wrong. All politics are identity politics. However, there is a toxic aspect because it's quite insidious what Don Lemon is doing. He's saying, yeah. And my friend told me that you got the N-word treatment. Why would he need to say that? If Don Lemon was of the cloth of the soil, then bruh, you would already know that the N-word treatment comes with being a foundational Black American. Not only that, just a melanated person in America, but specifically when we're talking about lineage business, there is a different socioeconomic and racial dynamic when it comes to this country, right? Don Lemon is what, in his 50s? He's supposed to know this already. And if he does know this, then why is he pretending, right? Anyone in their 50s, what, it took to your 50th birthday for you to get your N-word wake-up call? I can't really trust that, because if it took you that long, then what did that mean? That means you were too busy. You had your head up some non-Black booty that you didn't know, right? You didn't even know that's when the people say, I don't see color. Yeah, you can't see color because your head is up another non-Black derriere. That's why you can't see color. Now, once you pull your head out and then wipe all the brownies off, then, hey, look, yeah, could you see a color? How many fingers am I holding up, right? What's my skin pigment, right? It is not Lily W, right? Don Lemon is no victim. He's going around acting like he's been treated like Man and Pookie from the street. They're not treating this nigga like Junebug. He was treated with kid gloves. But no, he's the victim. Hey, FBA strong. Cue that tiny violin, my friend.
What do you think he even went to jail? He was in a holding cell. He got processed and set in a holding cell. He didn't even go to gym pop. He wasn't even given a cell. And this guy's complaining. He's on The View saying he got the N-word treatment. I don't think you know what the N-word treatment is. And see what I'm saying, fam? That's how disgusting it is, how they love to unpack blackness, put it on for a second, claim that they are victims, claim our struggles, claim our issues that we've had to deal with, and then take it off and go right back to party at the Met Gala.
Bro, god damn it, man. Thank you, bro. Every time I'm cooking, man, I keep accidentally hitting the mute button, bro. So my apologies. But I said Don Lemon doesn't give a flying fig Newton about you. He's just running around using his blackness to keep you somewhat enchanted in the identity politics. Oh, look, he's fighting for us. And then he immediately pivots. Don Lemon will say, black this, they attacking me because I'm a black man, black this, and I'm a black gay man, and black this, and black people this, and black civil rights, black, 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 blackity, black, 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 black. And then they say, hey, Don Lemon, you know what? You're right. Black people were discriminated against. It's about time that we give the black people some resources. Who do you think we should give them to? Well, maybe we should give them to people of color and gays and marginalized groups and trans people. Then he says every word except black. And then you say, hold on, what about the black people? Hey, you know, a rising tide lifts all boat. Those are the politics from Don Lemon. He only uses black, 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 black. Hey, Don Lemon, it's time for you to choose a husband. White, 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 white. Okay. And you think that he's some sort of freedom fighter? No, he is a corporate shill and stooge, a buck broken beta buffoon.
Him and Tim.
Oh, but since I was muted, I said, John, stick around because this story I'm wrapping up, and then I'm going to go into the Pooh Shiesty story. So hopefully you still around, John.
It's bullshit and it's disrespectful. It really is. First of all, Don is not in the holding cell. He didn't even go to Gym Pop. He was, for the record, there are a lot of N-words. A lot of people getting the N-word treatment every day that aren't Don Lemon. Yeah. Lots of people are getting the N-word treatment. America is the mass incarcerator of the Western world. We still hold the record, Don. And guess what? You weren't even held overnight. Yeah, you were held for like, 2 seconds? What is this? Did he even go to jail? I don't even think he even went to jail. He was in a holding cell. He got processed and set in a holding cell. He didn't even go to Gym Pop. He wasn't even given a cell. And this guy's complaining. He's on The View saying he got the N-word treatment. I don't think you know what the N-word treatment is. And see what I'm saying, fam? That's how disgusting it is, how they love to unpack blackness, put it on for a second, claim that they are victims, claim our struggles, claim our issues that we've had to deal with, and then take it off and go right back to party at the Met Gala. Him and Tim is bullshit.
So this is what we talk about cosplaying and tethering. Once you are standing on ethnic, cultural, and lineage business, if you're a zebra, if you're in the Oakland Zoo, you're a zebra. You go to the Philly Zoo, you're a zebra. You go to the SF Zoo, zebra. A zebra doesn't shed or change its stripes. And that's the same how we lean into blackness. Now, I get it. I say it, obviously facetiously and satirically. A lot of people, they only start leaning in and trying to adopt blackness because of us. Now, you can say, hey, they are racially classified as black, racially viewed as black, but how did they identify themselves, right? Because people have the right to their intellectual sovereignty, which means to self-identify. Some people are black and they identify as black. Some people are mixed and they say, don't call me black. I'm biracial. I don't want to erase my other half. I'm mixed with X, Y, and Z. So don't try to compress me into one thing. Fine. All we're saying is don't try to double back and triple back and say, hey, I'm black too. No, you're not. And there's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't mean that I'm better or you're better because you're not black. But to just discard it and say, oh, it's the weekend. tonight I'm in the mood for freaking. I'ma be black this weekend. Okay. Right? You're black in June because of Juneteenth, but July you're mixed with white. So you go back to representing the W community, make it make sense. So people are just saying, look, man, we accept people. We're the only ones who accept people, right? We the ones who actually uphold, unfortunately, the one drop rule. You got one teeny tiny scintilla of negroid blood, then people say, yep, you blackety black, just like us, right? We don't care how pale you are, right? And then those same people be like, yep, I'm black just like you. And what's the first thing, right? Now, since we've accepted you into the black community, what's the first order of business as a community? Well, I want to say nigga, and I could say nigga, right? It turns into logic like, bruh, of all the things, we part of the community, we can enrich, we can enfranchise, and you're fixated on being able to say nigga. This is the type of stuff, right? You at the cookout. Yeah, I'm black just like y'all, nigga. You get around other people. Well, I am biracial and I have to. It's like, okay, bro, there's nothing wrong with being biracial, bro. But there is a problem with tethering and cosplaying, just being trying to discard a lineage. You can't just immigrate into a lineage, right? Tell a Choctaw person that, hey, I'm Choctaw, but you know what? Next month, I'm probably going to be Cherokee, but don't trip. I'll come back to being Choctaw again. It wouldn't make any sense. So how would it make sense for you to be black and then, you go to another country and then you want to lean into your actual nationality, which is fine. All we're saying is just do it all the time. If you gonna say, hey, I'm Jamaican American when you go to China and Spain, when you're in America, say the same thing. You're Jamaican American. It's a beautiful thing. So there's no confusion.
Disrespectful. It really is. First of all, Don is only in this situation because he was performing, because he was being theatrical, because he did the wrong thing. So he's why he's even in this.
Yeah, so Donnie boy, you got to take some personal responsibility. I think I've given that enough time. So I'm going to go ahead and transition into the next video. And let me just bring up a prelude to the discussion just in case some of y'all are unfamiliar, because I can get why y'all are, right? So there's a artist. He goes by the name of Pooh Shiesty. Interesting name, right? Now, I know how popular dude is. I really don't listen to his music like that. I'm sure that he has some slappers, you know what I mean? I just don't really listen to bruh like that, so salute to his music, because I know that my nephew and other people listen to him. I can't name one of his songs, but I'm sure he got some slaps out there, right? But there has been quite a bit of controversy in the news, right? So I'm going to give you a prelude to the discussion and then I'll react to some videos, right? So Pooh Shiesty, who was Lontrell Williams Jr., and 8 others face federal kidnapping and armed robbery charges. And this stems from an alleged January 10th, 2026 incident at a Dallas music recording studio targeting Gucci Mane, Radrick Delantic Davis, aka RD, head of 1017 Records, and 2 other music industry figures. And they were referred to in the court documents as MM and BP. Okay. So the background and the motive: Pooh Shiesty signed to Gucci Mane's 1017 Records around 2021. He has success with tracks like Back in Blood. He was released from a prior federal firearms conspiracy conviction, Southern District of Florida, 5-year sentence, in late 2025, and was still on home confinement with an ankle monitor at the time of this alleged crime. He was unhappy with his contract terms and wanted out. He arranged the Dallas meeting under the pretense of a business discussion to resolve it. So he's saying, hey, look, man, I have some contract disputes. Hey, let's just meet up, bruh, and we'll talk about it like men. Instead of negotiation, the complaint alleges that a coordinated ambush by 9 people, mostly from Memphis, who traveled to Dallas specifically for this. So what happened? 3 victims plus security flew into Dallas and went to the studio around 1:45 to 3:15. Pooh Shiesty's father had called ahead to book time. The group waited, bought liquor, and entered the studio once it opened. Once inside, Pooh Shiesty, who is the alleged ringleader, and the co-conspirators executed a coordinated armed takeover. Pooh pulled Gucci into a separate recording room with his father and Big 30. He produced a pre-printed contract, released termination paperwork. Investigators believe it was printed earlier at a nearby Staples. When RD declined to sign, an argument broke out. Pooh Shiesty allegedly pulled a black AK-style pistol from a bag, pointed it at him, and demanded he signed. Gucci complied. Big 30 allegedly recorded the signing on his phone. Pooh's father told him to add a date, so he forced Gucci to do that too. Pooh then robbed him personally of his wedding ring, watch, earrings, and cash. The remaining defendants displayed firearms, robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and a Louis Vuitton bag, AirPods, etc. One victim, MM, was choked from behind to near unconsciousness. Big 30 allegedly barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent escape. Victims feared they would be killed. The group fled in vehicles, including a Dodge Charger, Hellcat registered to Pooh's father, and rentals he had arranged. How idiotic could you be? Now, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. I'm just giving you a prelude to the discussion, but like Cats is doing all of this dirt with all of these paper trails. So they say crime doesn't pay. This is the epitome of that, right? Pooh Shiesty was still on home confinement and violated it by committing a new federal crime and 2, possessing a firearm. The feds claim this case is extremely strong and not reliant on one person's word. And the feds, their conviction rate is in the 90th percentile because they allow you to accumulate evidence. They allow you to incriminate yourself. If they know that you sold a zip, they gonna let you sell 3, 4, 5 of them zips. So you can say, hey, I sold 2 zips and stop. Nah, they don't want to put too much heat on you because they want you to be able to sell about 10 of them things. So then they can come barge in your door, take your money. Just like Pooh Shiesty robbed these people, the state would rob you as well. It's called civil asset forfeiture. So ankle monitor data places Pooh Shiesty at the exact location. I mean, it's 2026. Y'all don't know that the ankle monitors have GPS, that they can pinpoint your exact location. So you're at the exact location of the alleged crime. Cell phone records, they can ping your cell phone as well. All of these satellite companies have agreed to share your information. So most of the times people like to check in. They go on Instagram and all this stuff, Snapchat, and it will say, hey, logged in from this disclosed location. All they have to say is, hey, look, your cell phone pinged here. The studio was here, plus your ankle monitor placed you there. Then on top of that, there are rental car records, which they could access the GPS on the car as well. There were surveillance footage from the studio building. So even if nobody snitches, they still have that, right? No one has to snitch for them to know the data of the ankle monitor. No one has to snitch for them to know the cell phone records. Now, I'm not saying someone didn't snitch. I'm just saying these are information. This is information that the feds claim is strong and not reliant on someone's word, right? There's surveillance footage from the studio building at a nearby office supply store, Staples. And this is where they alleged that they printed that contract. They printed a termination contract for Gucci to sign. They went to Staples. Staples has cameras and the buildings around it has cameras. Then they stayed at a hotel that was nearby the Staples in the studio, and that place had cameras. There were fingerprints from the scene that matched the defendants. Social media posts by the defendants showing the jewelry, showing the stolen item shortly after. So this is self-snitching right here. So some of these people will be like, Gucci Mane snitched on them. Okay, let's just say he did, but they snitched on themselves, right? So if Gucci Mane snitched on them allegedly and they snitched on themselves, how are they any different than Gucci Mane? Gucci Mane allegedly snitched, allegedly, but they certainly snitched on themselves, right? It's alleged that Gucci Mane snitched, and maybe it's 100% true, right? Just present the paperwork. I'm not saying that it's not true, but it is 100% true that these people were on social media saying, look at what we stole. So you already ratted on yourself. So, okay, we're done here. If I'm a Fed, it's like, there's not really much. This is kind of cut and dry. We pinged you at the location. You're admitting what you stole. We got your fingerprints here. We seen you at Staples. We seen you here. You're from Memphis. You had no other business to be in Dallas. So this seems pretty cut and dry. However, the justice system is an injustice system. So there could be some legal loopholes where they can get out, at least some of them, not all of them. But it's up to who snitches on who. Which Codees is going to start singing like the OJs. You know what I mean? So the victims, including Gucci Mane, personally knew Pooh Shiesty and Big 30 by name and moniker. They identified them via verified Instagram accounts and described clothing. Pooh in a black Nike Shiesty mask, black hoodie, and black pants. So Pooh Shiesty was recognized for wearing a Shiesty. Go figure. So when it comes to the snitching debate, this is where the internet exploded. The complainant has a specific section titled Identification of the Target Suspects through Instagram, in which victims, Gucci Mane included, identified Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, and others by their real names, stage names, and IG handles. Gucci Mane knew them personally from the label relationship. In hip-hop street culture, cooperating with the police and identifying assailants, even as the victim of an armed robbery kidnapping, is often labeled as snitching. Old clips resurfaced of Gucci saying things like, don't tell the police, I don't believe in any of that ish. Plus alleged past Pooh Shiesty lives calling him out. Social media and YouTube went viral. I heard that this is alleged, right? So these are the facts versus the narratives. Gucci Mane was the victim, not a co-D, right? So he wasn't a co-defendant flipping on Pooh Shiesty. He was a victim of Pooh Shiesty. So reporting the crime and identifying who robbed him at gunpoint is standard victim cooperation, not wearing a wire or testifying against co-conspirators for a deal, right? So some are saying, who cares? He cooperated with the cops. It's still snitching, right? But if someone breaks into your house right now and you caught them on camera and you know who the person was and they assaulted your family members in some type of way and they got away, right? And they said, hey, look, man, we can go get this person if you just know his name and you tell me where they're at. Would you say, man, I don't want to snitch, you know what I mean? Or would you tell the person, hey, look, man, I know that dude. I seen him from the block. He usually hangs around here. Or would you go back and get, some vigilante Punisher type justice and turn it to Frank Castle? Most of you niggas is not going to be Frank Castle. And on top of that, your family members would probably be egging you on. They not just going to talk to you. They're going to talk to your lady or the other people of the house. So, your wife snitch. What you going to tell your wife? Right. Man, don't tell them anything. So, yeah, people have distorted what it means to snitch. And like E40 said, they ain't call it snitching no more. They call it telling the truth. Snitching is like once you doing dirt with somebody and in order to not get caught, you snitch on them. But yeah, if you're living a civilian life, then hey, they ain't calling it snitching. They calling it telling the truth. Now, some of these cats, try to act a little bit too gangster for their britches. So when they get in these type of situations, it's like a lose-lose. I know some people had broken to Bun B's house and then they gave a statement and they was like, he snitched. Like, okay, most of y'all cats cooperate anytime. Y'all don't even know y'all Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent, but most of y'all cats don't remain silent. How many times have you seen somebody go in on First 48 and all they bring them is some stale McDonald's fries and a McChicken, and they start singing like Ron Isley. So what are we really talking about here in terms of the snitching, right? So the evidence is overwhelmingly independent of any single victim statement, ankle monitor, social media posts by the robbers themselves, surveillance, travel records, fingerprints. Multiple outlets and commenters have noted the defendants essentially snitched on themselves by flexing stolen goods online. That's true, bruh. Like, I don't really want to hear any of these goofy niggas talking about so and so is a snitch. Well, they just like you. All you niggas is snitches. So no public evidence shows Gucci Mane gave a full proffer, testified in a grand jury, or cut any deal. The case was built by the FBI task force across multiple districts. And then also, if Gucci got robbed and multiple other people got robbed, then some of those other people could have snitched, right? And some people say if you just give a statement to the cops, then you're snitching. They want you to, I'll plead the fifth. Well, that they can put you as obstruction of justice as well. So some people, they want you to get locked up for some mythical street code, but they say there's no honor among thieves. So if there's no honor among thieves, and a lot of you niggas are thieving, i.e. shiesty, right? What's the definition of being shiesty? A lot of thievery, right? A lot of treachery involved, right? So where's the code involved? This nigga is a shady shiesty nigga, but I'm supposed to have some code with this nigga? I'm just saying, I never told on nobody. I'm not a rat. You feel me? That's why, I kind of, they say the illas with the K, they move in silent. You feel me? All of the nefarious dirt I do, I do a lot of dirt, that people would never know, because if I told you, then I'd have to spill you. Joking, by the way, but you get what I'm saying though. I know I ain't gonna snitch on myself. So, I kind of move very clandestine, but other people, they want everyone to know I'm the one who's selling the dope. You can be the hardest, I'll just be the smartest, right? So people have been convinced where if I was a dude who was able to be under the radar selling 5, 10, 20 pounds, right, and not get caught and be able to transition into some other industry. Oh man, you don't know about the streets, man. You just a sucker, right? And that's perfectly fine with me. D-boy with the square look decoy, right? That's perfectly fine with me. But then people will praise someone else that got locked up for not even selling or doing half of what I done, right? Nigga, you a nerd. You ain't been locked up. Nigga, you're a nerd for getting locked up. Because if you wasn't moving hella goofy, your goofy ass would have never got locked up. Nigga, that's nothing to praise. If you get into a fight and say, I'm finna knock this nigga out, and then you go and get knocked out, what is there to praise? Nigga, you got knocked out. If you was hustling, the number one rule of any hustle commandment, the number one rule is to not get caught. You got caught, which means you failed. So I'm supposed to celebrate you? Yeah, nigga, because I'm hard. Yeah. It's a bunch of hard niggas in jail around you asking, are you ready for your cock meat sandwich? Yeah, I'm good. You feel me? Niggas acting hard. Yeah, nigga, I'm the hardest nigga. Yeah, until you go into intake. Bend over, spread your cheeks, cough. That's buck breaking right there. Nigga, you got buck broken. Nigga, what's hard about that again? So I'm just saying, bro, I've been saying this for quite some time now. These street niggas are the new nerds. And I'm not saying everyone, I'm saying niggas that's moving like this, bro. I'm just you giving niggas a bad name for how low IQ and idiotic you niggas are, bruh. All that money you got, but you niggas didn't invest in no books and no type of education. You invested in more things that's gonna lead you down a dark path. But somehow I'm supposed to look up to that. I'm a nigga that's from the streets, been in the streets and shit like that, but you got to call the goofy shit out when it's goofy. You feel me? I grew up in an era where like people were tight-lipped about things, but now in this snitching era, it's like if you didn't put it on social media, you didn't do it. You feel me? I can have more guns than any nigga could imagine. Nigga, where they at? Show them. Why? Why would I show them and show my hand? What happened to the element of surprise? Not only that, I'm not doing this to flex. You know what I mean? Because I'm really like that. You feel me? I'm really cut from a different fabric. So I don't really have to try to project or portray, this big macho man image, right? I'd rather be a super cool, laid back, peasy dude, right? I don't really want to get into a conflict. Why would I want to get into a conflict with you when I can collaborate with you? However, if we are going to get into a competition, then you going to get crushed and conquered. It just kind of is what it is. You feel me? But let's state the obvious, because these niggas, for one, you want to go to war, but you don't make enough. And nigga, you're not intellectually formidable enough. Look how goofy these niggas was moving. So if it's a bunch of goofy niggas with gun moving against someone who's tactically strategic and organized with the same firepower or even more firepower, nigga, this ain't no fucking hood movie where you twisting your gun to the side and bucking. No, nigga. Do you have niggas that's running up on you with plate carriers and reticles and ready to strategically dominate you and tactically dominate you? What people you talking about is talking like this, nigga? You're running around with some red bottoms sagging your pants, nigga. If I was gonna fight you, nigga, the first thing I would do is pull you already sagging. I will pull your pants down even more. Because the first thing a nigga gonna try to do is pull his pants up. And the moment you reach to pull your pants up, uppercut, tiger uppercut, tiger uppercut. Nigga, you ain't gonna be able to move because your pants is sagging and shit like that. You feel me? So I'm saying all this to say, you know what I mean? Your niggas gotta just step it up, bro. So this is a textbook case of biting the hands that feeds, going catastrophically wrong. Pooh Shiesty went from rising post-prison artist to an allegedly orchestrating a violent armed takeover against his own label boss over a contract. Now the sloppiness with the ankle monitor, the travel records, the social media flexing made it easy for the federal prosecutors to get a win. Y'all made it easy for them. Once again, you can be the hardest, I'll be the smartest. Niggas gonna be like, Pooh Shiesty is harder than you. Yeah, and that nigga's in a hard, cold cell. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the videos. And then if anybody, if y'all want to chime in, let me know. Just give me uno momento and I'm gonna pull these videos up. Like I said, this may ruffle some feathers, but it will be a banger. And actually, I do gotta pull the video up. So just give me like 30 seconds for me to pull the video up. So let me hit y'all with a visual. 30 seconds.
Be easy, tell me how it feel. Ooh, tell me how it feel. To be real, to be really that dude. Be easy, that dude. Ay, 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 that dude. Oh, be easy.
Kidnapping and robbing rapper Gucci Mane and others are set to face a judge again on Monday as their high-stakes.
So this video is actually on the Urban Politicians TV. I think this is Big Ant. And this video is titled Pooh Shiesty Kidnapping Gucci Mane Has No Physical Evidence Admitted by Feds in Court. And
Detention hearing continues. In federal court, prosecutors say what was supposed to be a business meeting, 5 of the 9 people charged, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., Darian McDaniel, Corday Johnson, and Demarion Gibson appeared in court. Investigators revealed new details.
And shout out Red 6, what it did do. He said this whole situation sounds like a scene off of Boondocks. Absolutely. Pooh Shiesty or Pooh Riley or Fool Riley. Dummy of the Year award damn near. Yeah. And John, let me know if you want to come up, Red 6 or whoever. Isn't that the paperwork? Yeah, that was some of the paperwork, but apparently there's some mixed things saying that there's some more paperwork. So that was some of what I'm reading. And once I play the video, they'll be getting into a little bit more. Yeah, RD is Raddick Davis, i.e. Gucci Mane. It just said the victims identified them via their verified IG. He said, ain't no debate. Yep. They snitched on themselves worse than the Vlad TV interview. And that's what I'm saying. How much sympathy can I truly have? Whether Gucci snitched or not, it's like, nigga, once you already snitched on yourself, you know what I mean? It's like, bruh, you opened the door to be snitched on. Plus, there's no honor among thieves. Once you in the trenches with thieves, and then you saying, that thief stole from me. Yeah, nigga, he's a thief. Of course he stole from you. What did you think was going to happen? Where did the no snitching come from? Is this part of the oath that everyone pretty much has to take when you go into a higher education, like a part of a secret society or sorority? Yes, I think too many times people give a lot of backlash to the Black community when they talk about no snitching, where there's plenty of people that snitch in the Black community. Sometimes people just don't know enough to snitch because there's a lot of MYOB, mind your own business. So if someone sees something going on, they may close their blinds, they may put on their headphones, they don't want to see nothing, know nothing, so they don't actually have to snitch, unfortunately, so they don't put themselves in danger. But it's quite rich for the cops, right? Because the cops have a very vile and violent no snitching policy. That's the biggest gang in all of the land, the Boys in Blue. Y'all see it on various articles in every movie. Show me one movie where a dude who's a cop who snitched on other cops was treated favorably, right? Realistically, the cops should be treated they should be uplifted, right? Because this is a nation of law and order. But the cops who snitch on other cops to uphold the law, they're seen as traitors. Traitors to who? And Eternal Affairs. Eternal Affairs is supposed to be keeping other cops in line. They're supposed to root out the bad apples, and you're supposed to see internal affairs. But every movie, every show that's depicted, they hate internal affairs. They tell the Black community about accountability, but when internal affairs try to have accountability over the cops, they hate them. They tell the Black community, man, we would solve crime if y'all would just snitch on each other. Hey, we would know who all these racist cops were, and we wouldn't have a George Floyd situation if y'all just snitched on the people. But they have a staunch and strict no snitching policy in Congress, right? with the whistleblowers and all this stuff. Look at what Eric Snowden did. Eric Snowden told you everything. They couldn't call Eric Snowden a liar, so they called him a traitor. Okay, fine. Let's just say he is a traitor. I don't believe that, but let's just say he is. Did he lie, though? He's a traitor. That's not what I asked you. I asked you, did he lie? He's a traitor to the country. Did he lie? Traitor. And they just keep going back and forth. Did he lie? So yes, this whole no snitching thing, it's been entrenched in society. You know what I mean?
About what they say happened on January 10th. Just after 1 p.m., 3 victims arrived expecting to meet with rapper Pooh Shiesty or Lontrell Williams Jr. Instead, prosecutors say it was an ambush. An FBI special agent testified that Williams Jr. brought 1 victim into a private studio room. Others followed, shut.
Damn, nigga, what? Now you starting to sound like Malik, nigga. You've been around them East Coast niggas too much, bruh. What you hit me with a pause for, nigga? John Paul Sinatra, nigga. What you hit me with a pause for? And matter of fact, nigga, you talking about pause? I ain't want to have to hit you, but you know what?
Sick of you niggas. Every day the same shit. Damn, sick of you niggas. Every day the same shit. Damn,
The door, and an argument over a contract quickly escalated. Williams Jr. had Rodney Wright, also known as Big 30, retrieve a bag with an AK-style pistol, then pointed it at the victim, forcing him to sign paperwork releasing him from his contract, according to the agent. A judge has now ruled.
Hey, nigga, you peeped that little that was something for the for the salsa bunnies. You feel me? And the hombres out there, you know what I mean? Don't trip. I got more coming up. Yeah, and shout out Urban Politician TV. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get back into it.
Ruled there is probable cause for charges including kidnapping, robbery, and conspiracy. One of Big 30's attorneys, Murray Wells, spoke with us after the ruling.
There are certainly gaps in the evidence. The thing doesn't make sense. Sort of the way it's put together in the complaint doesn't make practical sense about how the way this may have happened. So we use this as an opportunity to sort of learn what their theory is.
And bond was granted for Williams Sr. under strict conditions, including home confinement.
Oh, so that's what he was talking about. Okay. Nah, nigga, bruh. So hold on. You want to talk about pause? Nigga, I've been in a fight. Niggas have attempted to or successfully grabbed my hair. There was no pause. Niggas grabbed my nuts. There was no pause. Niggas will grab anything in a fight because it's not about pause moments. It's about punishment. So I ain't trying to pause you. I'm trying to punish you. And nigga, if you pulling some nigga pants down, it ain't to like get a peek of the meat, nigga. It's a tactic to win the fight. You feel me? And them niggas pants is already down. When niggas is sagging and they got their little shit stain, crusty little draw showing and shit, nigga, your pants is already down, nigga. I'm just helping them get to the flow so I get a further advantage in the fight, nigga. It ain't no freak a leak type shit, nigga. It's on, But like I said, you never know. You might get a kick in the knee, a kick in the nuts, an eye gouge, some pants pulled down. You never know. A shirt pulled over your head. There's no such thing as a fair fight. Fair is a place where they judge pigs and eat funnel cake.
And a $250,000 bond. As for the remaining suspects, their cases are expected to continue when court resumes Monday afternoon.
The evidence that was presented today in court.
Well, Greg, I can tell you that prosecutors say there's cell phone evidence that shows the 9 defendants, including Pooh Shiesty, his father, and Big 30, were in the area prior to and after the incident. Kidnapping. But one of the things that the defense has pointed out is there isn't any physical video evidence that shows this crime took place. A lot of information was presented in court, but there still are a lot of questions in this case. We will continue to follow it as it progresses in court and keep you updated. Reporting live from downtown downtown Memphis. For your news leader, Raven Copeland, WRU.
Is that a special agent from the FBI, Marcellus Hobbs, from the Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, took the stand, and defense attorneys for Lontrell Williams Sr., Pooh Shiesty's father, and Rodney Wright Jr., also known as rapper Big 30, asked Hobbs a key question. Is there any hard evidence, like video surveillance, showing either man possessing a gun or threatening anyone? And Hobbs said no. He also testified that no concrete evidence was found in Wright's car or Williams' homes when they were arrested. But even so, the judge ruled there is still probable cause for both men and all defendants who appear today based on cell phone data, outside surveillance video, and victim statements that stand uncontested.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV. 6 others, as they have been fairly charged and now going to be moving forward off of probable cause for allegedly robbing and kidnapping Gucci Mane and 2 others. One.
I know sometimes people always talk about having fathers in the home, but you have to be descriptive. It's about having competent fathers in the home. I mean, it's a bunch of deranged maniacs that have fathers in the home, but what did they daddy really teach them? So I think just having fathers in the home is not enough. So that's why I think when people talk about the out of wedlock narrative, I think is more nuanced and deeper than that, because also if you're single or if you're unmarried in America, that's considered single. So right now, John is not married. Not to use you as an example, John, but you've stated this publicly, right? John is not married, but he has a significant other. So based on the way they count the statistics, John had his kids out of wedlock. Therefore, his kids are being raised by a single mother. But I know that not to be the case, right? He's been there every moment of his kid's life since birth. But on paper, his kids are being raised by a single mother. So that's why people would just be like, oh, most of the black dads are not even there. It's like, is that true? That happens in many cases. But to say this ain't the 80s, the crack era. So people try to harken back to a time that they grew up in or a time that they heard about. But that's just not the reality. Even the CDC, who's no friend of black people, said that that's not true. Of the black fathers present, they're the most involved. Don't take my word for it. This is the CDC reporting this.
Once again, as I will have the links in the description where you can watch the clips in the beginning in full from ABC, channel W3, WREG, channel 3, and also Action 5, as they was reporting live outside the courtroom and was giving us, as it was happening in real time, the latest details as federal agent Hobbs was laying out his case, saying why they moving forward with probable cause. But the key stuff that has got to circulating and got in rotation was the fact that they did not have physical evidence of the robbery taking place or them putting Gucci Mane inside the room and making him sign the contract and recording it. And I'm gonna get into this right up in just a second, where it kind of breaks down more of the details of what they have and don't have, as it said that supposedly when they put up the federal complaint that Big 30 had recorded Gucci Mane signing his name on the dotted line and saying that he was releasing Pooh Shiesty from the contract. They said that phone has been destroyed. Now they went to one of the guys' home, said they had things there. And this is some key points in the write-up. Pooh Shiesty did not appear in court, but his father, Big 30, and 4 other defendants did make an appearance. Hobbs testified that RD complied and signed it, which is Roger Davis. Then Big 30 allegedly recorded RD at gunpoint, saying he was releasing Pooh Shiesty from his contract. It was later revealed that investigators have been unable to retrieve that video because Big 30 allegedly broke his phone after the fact. Investigators also claimed that Pooh Shiesty robbed RD of his earrings, watch, and wedding ring. However, there's no physical video evidence that shows the alleged robbery took place. It's also alleged that the 8 defendants, excluding Pooh Shiesty's father, Darian McDonald, and DeMarcus Glover, allegedly re-entered the studio and pulled out guns on RD and 2 other victims. At some point, investigators allege RD's security team tried to enter the barricaded room. However, Wright and 2 other defendants pointed a gun and told them to step back, which they did. Investigators say the victims exited from the studio at gunpoint. Then the defendants left and were captured on a nearby surveillance camera. Investigators say they found a gun in Demarion Gibson's home, along with a hoodie in McDaniel's home that he was captured in on surveillance video at the time of the alleged robbery and kidnapping. Now, what they saying is, hey, the surveillance put all of them in the area at the time, so that's the reason why they're going to move forward with this, and they have probable cause. And then one of the guys, the hoodie was at his house that he wore from the surveillance video allegedly. But a key thing that they was alleging that Big 30 actually recorded this and had Gucci Mane saying this stuff on camera, but they cannot find that physical evidence. So it still is innocent and proven guilty in the court of law. It's not about what you know. It's about what you can prove. And in court, when you're on the defensive side, it's all about saying, hey, do y'all have enough to prove that I did this? I don't have to prove to y'all that I didn't do it. It's about, do y'all have enough to prove that I did? And if we go to trial, it's all in the jury hands and how they feel about it. This whole situation is wild and crazy right here, but they was all in the hotel rooms together and everything of the sort. Pooh Shiesty supposedly, according to the federal complaint, was receiving phone calls from his PO at the current time, but his father is out while this was going on, which is crazy. Pooh Shiesty's father has been released. Pooh Shiesty probably won't be released next week because he was already on the federal house, was already back at a halfway house, but he had recently still been on federal probation and was still moving around. So this right here is just the latest of this case. People are going to be looking into it. I'll keep y'all updated on it as people asking me this, that, have I seen this, or what's the latest on it? So I'm going to come in and keep y'all in the know about everything happening and what's trending on the conversations online with it. I'll just say this, man, innocent till proven guilty, but it look wild. It do look wild. I would never think that I would see nothing like this with the feds being involved and they able to put you there, the witnesses, and it's all about what the jury feels. It's going to be a tough thing to fight. I would just say this. This is not the answer if you have a contract issues or any type of issues, bro.
Like he said, this is not the answer, but we will get into it a little bit later on what could be the answer. So this is from All Urban Central. Fair use, fair use. This is from Kay Shyday. She speaks on Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty's beef. So you can watch this video on that channel, All Urban Central.
Boy, it's some crazy going on the internet today. Well. Would you look at here?
Was that celery? Because that thing got an extra crunch. I don't get it. Like, y'all let me know. What is it with people that just have this incessant need to eat when they about to make a video? Like, how much longer would it have taken her to eat a piece of celery? Take 5 minutes to eat the celery and then take the video. This video, maybe they cut it, but this video is not that long. It's only like 3 minutes. Chew your food, swallow the celery, and then do the video. I don't get it. Like, when does this be a thing? Like, usually you don't want to hear people having you crunch, seeing you smack, some food might come out of your mouth. But there's just been this reoccurring trend that people want to try to talk about a serious or a intriguing topic while smacking on some food, right? I don't get it. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but I do like celery though. It is good for you, but not when you're trying to make this video.
Well. Would you look at here? Some of y'all owe me an apology. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All that laughing and giggling.
Little baby, get to the point.
At this point, I need a documentary. Somebody document me. Okay, here we are. Yeah, I'd be mad too if won't let me out my contract. I'm in a situation right now where I want to hit a Pooh Shiesty on y'all painting a picture out to make it seem like everybody just like it's a curse with Gucci. There ain't no curse with Gucci. Everybody chose their own fate when it came to 1017. And I'm speaking for everybody because I don't have nobody here to speak for themselves. And two of my goddamn label mates is gone. Chant gone. Scar gone. I don't even know where the Road Boy at. Y'all got so many opinions, but y'all don't even know that Fujiano and Pooh Shiesty and Scar was beefing with Gucci the entire time. It was the back and forth of who leaving the label and who want to stay and come back and give me your chain, or no, you can have your chain. Like, it was a lot of that shit going on. Why? It ain't even about reading your contract. It's not about none of that shit. It's not about none of that shit. At the end of the day, everybody wanted.
Oh. I'm glad this one ain't too long, but she already lost me. It ain't about reading the contract. It literally is about reading the contract. So he either read his contract and couldn't comprehend it or misinterpreted it, or he didn't read the contract and then he double or triple back and read the contract and said, oh, yeah, this ain't hidden for me. So her saying that it ain't about the reading the contract, literally they allegedly held a gun to his head because of a contract. So this sounds like kind of baby bop bimbo babble, but let's see what else she got to say though. This ain't about the contract. Yeah, it is.
It's not about none of that shit. It's not about none of that shit. At the end of the day, everybody wanted respect. That's why Channing left. She didn't like what was going on about reading your.
So I'm going to rewind it back, but she said it was about respect. If the only way you can get respect is to set up a fake meeting and then rob, it's about respect. So that's why I robbed you for your wedding ring and your Rolex and money. So you can respect me, nigga. No, nigga, I don't respect you after that. Like, I would have respect you if we would have talked it out like men. That's respect worthy. But you try to call a meeting under false pretenses to rob me. There's nothing to respect about that. And there's no honor among thieves. And since this nigga's a thief, what is honorable about that? That's dishonorable. So what am I supposed to respect about Pooh Shiesty or anyone? You feel me? If I did this, then I would expect people to have this same sentiments because I was out on the concrete doing nefarious, unscrupulous things at one point, right? But I'm not going to self-snitch on my stuff. You can speculate what I was doing. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. But you don't have the proof to prosecute me. But these people, they out there snitching on themselves, giving evidence for the prosecutors in the name of respect. This ain't about contracts. It's about respect. Okay, well, I'm sure Big Bubba on Prison Block 3 is going to respect you too.
They chose their own fate when it came to 1017. And I'm speaking for everybody because I don't have nobody here to speak for themselves. And two of my goddamn label mates is gone. Chant gone. Scar gone. I don't even know where the Road Boy at. Y'all got so many opinions, but y'all don't even know that Fujiano and Pooh Shiesty and Scar was beefing with Gucci the entire time. It was the back and forth of who leaving the label and who want to stay and come back and give me your chain, or no, you can have your chain. Like, it was a lot of that shit going on. Why? It ain't even about reading your contract. It's not about.
So McDowell says, answer maybe that no one wants to hear it, but it makes a great distraction from the Epi files and the people that have gone to war with these other countries for no good reason. Well, yeah, they're not even talking about the Epi files. Instead, they're talking about Bill Cosby. Diddy had bottles of baby oil. So that's what they're trying to talk about. They're still talking about George Floyd and BLM. So any little thing, DEI, woke, and CRT, they're still talking about that. Anything to distract you. When it comes to the war, this is a clear cut war. There's a genocide going on in Gaza. They're not calling it a genocide. There's a war going on in Iran. Here, you notice they keep going out of their ways to call it a conflict. No, it's a war. No, it's a conflict. Okay, a conflict could be a war, but they're fixated on this word conflict when they know that it's clearly a war. And this is all to propagandize you and desensitize you to what war means and what it actually is. And you said Suge started this with Eazy-E. FBA make the best news coverage as a distraction, just like we are the best entertainers. People love to see us rise and fall. We make great distraction from the world's problems. It's true. This is why when everybody wants to go viral, they'll drop an N-bomb. They'll say something about black people, then try to go on an apology tour. Then they'll still hold these prejudice views. So there would be no USA without FBA. They claim that we have no culture, yet they're always talking about us. They claim that they have black fatigue, but every day that's who they talk about. I always give analogies, right? If someone says that they have NFL fatigue, man, I'm tired of the NFL, man. If the NFL, I got NFL fatigue. Bro, what you about to go do? Oh, I'm probably going to, get a couple brews and watch this football game. Like, huh? I thought you said you had NFL fatigue. Why are you watching the draft? Why are you watching the NFL at all? You have fatigue. If someone says they have fatigue of donuts, you don't wake up in the morning and grab a coffee and say, let me get a box of a dozen donuts. If you have fatigue of donuts, you want to stay away from it, right? You have fatigue of black people. Fine. Stay away from them and stop talking about them. But is that what's happening? No. I got black fatigue. Hey, what you listening to? NBA Youngboy and Pooh Shiesty? I thought you had black fatigue, right? You niggers are degenerate. What you about to watch? Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society? It's like, I thought you said that was a degenerate behavior and lifestyle, right? Go to any of these, go to a Pooh Shiesty concert. You think it's going to be a bunch of black people there or more white people? Go to an NBA Youngboy concert. What racial demographic is going to be there, right? They say that rap music is so disgusting, depraved, and degenerate, yet the top consumers are non-black. How are you guys able to raise your family as upstanding citizens with all of this violent, grotesque rap music, right? Maybe it's not the rap music after all. And it's funny because people will say black people are degenerate. Well, you know what the most degenerate word is? Nigga. So if we so degenerate and nigga is part of a degenerate culture, why are y'all fighting to say niggas? They won't fight for reparations. They won't fight for an anti-black hate crime bill. They won't fight for more funding in schools. They won't fight for better recreational centers and parks, but they will fight for the freedom of speech to say nigga. But it's only that word. They don't want to say any other slurs. They don't want to build no businesses with you. They just want to say, well, I grew up next to y'all, and that's why I say nigga. You grew up next to blacks, but you don't hire blacks. So that's all you care about is saying nigga. I mean, it's quite pathetic.
Beefing with Gucci the entire time. It was the back and forth of who leaving the label and who want to stay and come back and give me your chain, or no, you can have your chain. Like, it was a lot of that shit going on. Why?
And shout out to Drax. I think this is your first time over here, Drax. Drax says elite billionaire Democrat donors are on that list. Now we find out Pam Bondi is friends with Eric Swalwell. Well, like George Carlin said, it's a big club and you ain't in it. Both parties are the same. SAME. Two cheeks on the same booty. Two fangs on the same viper. That's both parties, right? So this is why the Democrats, Biden could have released the unredacted version of the Epi pedophiles. He didn't, because he knows that there's a bunch of Democrats in there. There's a bunch of Republicans in there, probably independents and libertarians. But guess what? Guess what racial group is predominantly in there? We already know. The Lily W's, because Epstein and many of his pedo pompous pricks said they didn't want any niggers allowed. Fine, there were no niggers around, But guess who was around? A bunch of Lily W's. Why do you have to make it about race? When they talk about Crips and Bloods, they make that about race. But then when we talk about this notorious epi-pedo ring, suddenly no one wants to talk about race. Okay, fine. What religion were those people? Were any of them Jewish? Were they atheists? Were they Christian? So we can't ask what religion they are. We can't ask what race they are. What tax bracket were they in? Were they born in a fatherless home? See, all of these psychoanalysis, that's what they did to George Floyd. They want to know who raised George Floyd and how much fentanyl he had in the system. Fine. How much booze and drugs did these pedos have in their system when they were fondling and penetrating these young white girls? I'm pro-life, right? And I care about these victims. Why is this, such a controversial question to ask, especially for the conservatives who claim that they're pro-life and they say that white people are under attack? Well, these young, beautiful white girls were abused by old, powerful white men. Where's the accountability? I thought they said the black community has an accountability problem. And when it's time to turn the mirror on the elite, wealthy white oligarchs, guess what they do? George Floyd and BLM. There was no reports of BLM members in that epi-pedo list, but people are still talking about buying large mansions. Guess who was actually buying large mansions? Epstein, Trump, and all of his cronies as well. He didn't just buy mansions, he bought an entire island. Whose culture is this? Who raised these people?
It ain't even about reading your contract. It's not about none of that shit. It's not about none of that shit. At the end of the day, everybody wanted respect. That's why Channing left. She didn't like what was going on. There was really no team with 1017 to where we had people that was really there, that was guiding us. It was just like all the calls was coming from everybody that they was putting in charge. And a lot of people that was in charge shouldn't have been in charge over there at Atlantic. And that's the real issue.
We ain't gonna put it to the hood. Plan? I gotta increase the security. All right. So Icy Gang, man, we ain't doing no plan. We're a group. We ain't no record label. We're a family. Bro, you see this shit? So I'm gonna need some help putting this. Dancing.
Now I get it. And I'm gonna mute this and still let it play. When we were younger, this stuff used to be extra enticing. Like, look at this.
We're rolling now. I ain't even playing. This my first female artist. Listen, this a girl, man. This ain't even no man, man. This ain't even no man, man. This a girl. Look how a girl kicking it, man. Look at this shit, man.
So I'm gonna give y'all a perspective that y'all most likely ain't gonna hear, right? I'm tired of seeing this stuff. Now, I was talking, let's just say I was having an exchange with Lavish D, and he's a rapper from Sacramento area, right? And he was talking about how he spent so much jewelry that he literally could have bought a house with it. And there used to be songs like, I know Mike Jones had a song, I got a house around my neck, right? It sounds cool, right? But how stupid does that sound? And actually, E40 said this in the 90s. He said, don't buy a $100,000 car before you buy a house. And it's a lot of cats that say they got a house around their neck, but they don't have a house. You got an alleged house around your neck, and next year is losing value. So if you're in a position to give me an iced out chain, bro, don't give me no chain. Give me some stocks, bonds. Give me something that appreciates in value, right? Give me a plot of land. Would you rather have an iced out chain or a plot of land? Hey, I'll put a bunch of tiny houses on that land. I'll find a way to cultivate that land. So we have to have a paradigm shift. Now, many people are not in a position to just be giving out chains, right? So there's either one thing. One, the chains are and I'm not these specific chains, I don't know. I'm just making a broader point in general, right? So either the chains are inauthentic, they look good, they're costume jewelry, which means they cost a nice amount, but not the top dollar, right? Or they are authentic, which means that they do cost top dollar and you've paid several tens of thousands to, if not hundreds of thousands, for jewelry that's going to depreciate in value. This is not a flex, and who exactly are you flexing on? You're trying to flex on some poor people who can't afford it because Kanye, who turned into Kanye, Kanye said when he became a billionaire, he stopped wearing chains. He said billionaires don't wear chains. Now, I'm not trying to say you should aspire to be a billionaire, but what I'm saying is there's certain people that achieve a certain level of success and they don't need to go around trying to show it. They don't need to wear "I'm successful" on their sleeve or on their forehead. The man of the house doesn't need to announce they're the man of the house. They come in and the house should conform to the established dominion and order that you should already have put forth. It's like the king of the jungle. The lion doesn't go around saying, hey, I'm the king of jungle. It just comports himself as the king of the jungle. Someone challenges his status as the king of the jungle, and it's a battle to see who's really running the show. You know what I mean? So when it comes to this stuff in terms of like the generosity and like they were saying, oh man, we a family, man, we giving out chains. Give out some deeds to the house, bruh. I'd rather you buy a rundown house in a podunk town. I can still flip that and it would appreciate in value. These chains, what do they do for you? Right?
The first 10-17.
Also, when Gucci and all these people got robbed for their chains, what did the chain do for you? And if you look at someone and think that they have more value because they have a chain or some type of jewelry, that is a form of idolatry. Now, I'm not a super Bible thumper, but many of these people are. Your good book teaches you the opposite of this. So why are you idolizing someone else have a chain? If I tell you, hey man, look at this baddie, man, I smashed her day in and day out, right? Are you gonna be proud and be like, try to vicariously live through my conquest? No. So why are you trying to vicariously live through someone else's chain? Oh, look at his chain. Look at his car. I know you may aspire to that, but you have to ask yourself why. You're aspiring to look the part, but you're not aspiring to be a boss. Many of these people are not bosses, right? They're working for bosses and they'll never be bosses because they're too busy trying to stunt on poor people. Their bosses aren't wearing chains like that. Their bosses are signing their checks and aren't wearing chains. Meanwhile, they're wearing all of these chains, all of this flashy stuff. But when it's times for them to get caught up with some legal stuff, many of them can't even afford a lawyer. You had a lawyer around your neck, right? Now you got to start a GoFundMe when there's a funeral. What happened to that chain that you had, right? Right now, if I was able to put your son through college or give him a chain, a 4-year scholarship to a prestigious institution, or an icy chain, it's a lot of cats that would take the chain. But what is that chain really going to do for you? And John said he knew exactly what he was doing, giving them chains instead of knowledge. And this is what I'm saying. We have to call this stuff out because this is quite pathetic, because you're not giving people any game. You're giving them a chain, something that's going to lose value. The knowledge appreciates in value because you can use that knowledge to build, grow, and expand. You can't grow and expand with a chain. Whatever price you pay for your chain, if you try to sell that same chain 2 months and 2 years from now, you're not going to get the same price. Why would I pay you the same price for an old chain when I got a new chain equivalent or better than what you're offering. But the knowledge, whatever knowledge you get now, is going to appreciate because people are getting dumber and dumber by the day. So if you're ever in a position where you want to gift me a chain or a car or something, how about a plot of land instead? How about a property instead? I'm just saying. I bet you any kind of money, any jewelry that you buy, gold, diamonds, it loses at least 50% when you walk out the store with it the next day. Go to the pawn shop and see how much they offer you. Yeah, they say the same thing about cars. If you get into a car that's brand new, that has 0 miles, you go up the street and hit a U-turn and say, you know what, this was an impulse buy. I don't think this car is for me. They can take 20 up to 40% off the value just for you going off the lot, hitting a U-turn and changing your mind. They'll be like, all right, fine, we'll take it back at a 40% lower cost. This jewelry wearing rapper Dunn flexing started in Queens when Run DMC LL started wanting to be like the local kingpins, like Fat Cat, or is that Gat Cat or Fat Cat Nichols and Kenneth Griffin Supreme. Next up, Eric B and Rakim. A lot of typo, Roger. Slow down, bruh. Put the bottle down. No, I'm just joking with you. I see what you did there, McDowell. Jewelry. It's the jewelry. I got you. So, I'm going to play a little bit more of this other video. I'm going to transition to another story, and then I'm going to get ready to shut her down. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. Y'all chose to be here with me, at least momentarily, and for that, I thank you. So let me pull up this other video real quick. Y'all rocking late night. I don't know. Is it any Easter bunnies in the chat? Do y'all celebrate Easter? Or let me know. I'm not an Easter guy, but salute to y'all. And this video is on Street Media TV. It's titled, Gucci Mane Was Never Robbed on Camera. Pooh Shiesty case just turned upside down for the feds.
Hearing for a judge to determine bond and to determine if there's enough probable cause for the case to move forward. And so in this case, a federal agent took the stand to testify about some of the evidence they have against the defendants, and apparently some of the evidence they don't have. So while it's clear the agents have evidence that places the defendants at or near the location of the incident, they don't have any hard evidence for more than that. And before you ask about a video of Gucci signing the release paperwork, the criminal complaint specifically says, quote, Wright pulled out a cell phone and purported to record RD signing the paperwork while being forced to say that he, quote, released Williams Jr. from the contract. And the little 2 at the end is a footnote. And the footnote says, quote, according to BP's statement to law enforcement, he witnessed Wright pointing a cell phone at RD inside the recording room, but assumed at the time that Wright was taking pictures for social media. So the language here seems to be what's key, and that it says Big 30 purported to record. Purported, meaning appeared or seemed to be recording. Now the streets are saying,
damn sincere on my helmet about Easter. Hey, my bad. I didn't know it was that triggering. I just thought some people, there's a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people today making Easter baskets. Actually, matter of fact, you talking about me and the Easter thing. I think John in the chat, John made his little youngins an Easter basket. Take it up with John. I'm the one not celebrating. I'm just trying to show love to everybody else. But shout out to the Easter bunnies, especially the chocolate ones. Let's get back into it.
There is video of Gucci signing the paperwork, but at this time, the feds are saying they don't have it. So this really could come down to testimony from the victims. But I'm not a lawyer. And clearly, the real lawyers are already doing what lawyers do. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and the judge confirmed there is probable cause, so the case is moving forward.
Young people, stay out of the streets, man. The streets is a myth. And this is something I've been telling y'all for years. Y'all remember when I wrote, when I was doing my series about 3-4 years ago, F to the real jigger, right? And Bad Bees. And I was doing that series back then.
and I was showing all the horrible and horrific things that we do to each other in our communities, right? And we brag on being on Demon Time. We brag on being, the.
And shout out to John. I don't know if John is still in the chat, but John, are you on Demon Time? Still in the chat? But this is another element that I want to touch on too, right? So what Pooh Shiesty did to Gucci Mane, right? Because he was in a shady contract. How many black artists are in shady contracts? And like McDowell says, follow the money. That trail always leads to a certain group, right? There's a certain demographic, right? Some would call them the untouchables or the chosen people. Some people say that they wear teeny tiny hats, right? So these people have got a lot of these thuggish brutes and ruffian and street hood niggas, right? They've gotten them in all sorts of compromising, unfair, unjust contracts. Tell me one story of any of these people pulling a strap on a J person. Don't worry. I'll wait. Everything I'm saying, niggas couldn't come up here and intellectually challenge me. First of all, because you're not formidable, right? So they can't challenge me on the facts. So we'll be like, nigga, where are you at? I'll pull up, nigga. I'll pop you, right? What Jews have you pulled up on, right? They're the ones who's over here putting you in these deals. Some of them, right, are putting you guys in these deals, taking all of your royalties. But they're not pulling up on any of them. They're not putting any guns to their head. The only reason why they did this to a black person is because usually once you harm black people, you can get away with it because all societies has like a chorus singing in the church. What about black on black crime? What about Chicago? What about Oakland, right? It's a bunch of Latino gang members who don't consider themselves brown, but the ones who are brown. Show me a video of them talking about brown on brown crime. If you in the Bay Area, you know that the Northers, the Northerners, usually have beef with the scraps, the Sereños, right? Brown on brown crime. Where's the video of them talking about that, right? Are Jewish people just innocent people that never commit any crime? They're just benevolent, angelic figures? No, right? They're human beings. We're all infallible, right? Show me the videos of them talking about Jewish on Jewish crime. Most crime is intraracial. 85% of white people have harm committed against them by other white people, but they want to convince you that George Floyd is going to arise from the dead and stalk you in your sleep. But this harm, people have internalized this whole black on black crime thing. When crime is just crime, it has no color. However, it is a bit pathetic and cowardly that people are willing to commit crime against other black people simply because they know that the likelihood of it being swept under the rug and them getting away with it, it's in their favor. You do a crime against a beautiful blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, you're going to get the death penalty. You do the same crime against some black girl from the hood named Watermelonisha, they going to say, because of her name, then who cares if she got abused? But that was just a young girl that didn't deserve to get abused. Well, her name's Watermelonisha and she's from the hood. Yeah, but what does that have to do with her being abused? So then it turns into always making excuses for the harm. And, we got to be able to call the excuses out. And when we're able to, we got to be able to have punitive damages for people that are breaking the lineage code and the social contract.
Walks and we brag on all this kind of stuff, right? So now Pooh Shiesty is locked up, right? For a January incident while he was on home confinement. We know that he signed the Gucci Band's label 1017 back in 2020. Pooh Shiesty and his father, his father got bail, but they got sort of some kind of good news.
To a new development tonight in the arrest of Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty. He and 8 others are charged with kidnapping rapper Gucci Mane. Shiesty's father, Lontrell Williams Sr., and another Memphis rapper known as Big 30 appeared in federal court today. Action News 5's Caitlin Miller was in the courtroom in downtown Memphis. So Caitlin, fill us in. What happened today?
Yeah, Joyce. So they're actually still in there. But what I can tell you is that a special agent from the FBI, Marcellus Hobbs, from the Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, took the stand. And defense attorneys for Lontrell Williams Sr., Pooh Shiesty's father, and Rodney Wright Jr., also known as rapper Big 30, asked Hobbs a key question. Is there any hard evidence, like video surveillance, showing either man possessing a gun or threatening anyone? And Hobbs said no. He also testified that no concrete evidence was found in Wright's car or Williams' homes when they were arrested.
Teens investigative reporter Kayla Solomon joins us live from federal court downtown. Kayla, that hearing, in fact, just wrapped up.
Darcy, is actually still going on, heading into hour 4 at this point. But we were able to get a bond assigned for Lontrell Williams Sr., the father of Pooh Shiesty. The judge ultimately decided she's going to assign him a home incarceration, which she says is the strictest bond she can assign outside of giving him or granting him into federal custody. She said the only time he is allowed to leave his home is to attend his court dates in Dallas, where this case will ultimately be tried. And she said he'll be under electronic monitoring while this all plays out. Now, today was supposed to be a detention hearing for 4 of the 5 defendants who are being held in federal custody in Memphis. They're listed as co-conspirators in an alleged kidnapping and robbery that happened in Dallas back in January. Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty, his dad, and other men are accused of kidnapping and robbing rapper Gucci Mane and others in a recording studio. In court today, federal prosecutors called up an FBI agent who was part of the Violent Crimes Division in Dallas. He walked through the accusations in the indictment and answered questions from defense attorneys. The judge ruled there is enough probable cause to move forward with the case. So again, at this point, it's unclear how late we'll go into tonight, but we do know that Lontrell Williams Sr., father of Pooh Shiesty, has been assigned home incarceration and cannot leave his home unless he's attending a court hearing in Dallas. We also know that 5th man, Corday Johnson, his detention hearing will be held next week on Tuesday. He was just assigned a public defender today. Darcy?
That is Fox.
So the dad gets bail, but they're saying now that there's no surveillance video showing the incident actually happening or showing these guys with firearms. Now, I don't know if that police officer is going to tell. I don't know if now we know that they said Gucci gave up a statement, right? It's in the paperwork. Like he gave up a statement, but there's no video surveillance of it. But they got video of these young idiots, right, telling on themselves, displaying branding.
Also want to say I don't think Gucci Mane is just an innocent victim as well. I think he was doing bad business in terms of how he was running his label. It could have been a little bit of greed, egotism, and incompetence. Maybe one of those or a combination of all of them. So Gucci Mane is definitely shouldn't get off scot-free. He was victimized by him robbing, but I do believe some of his incompetence and irresponsibility also led to that, right? This is a ultimate quintessential FAFO moment, right? You're dealing with a junkyard dog, right? So if a junkyard dog gets a little bit unruly and violent, why were you expecting it to act like Air Bud or Beethoven or Lassie or something like that? It was a junkyard dog. Handle with care. You mistreated a already fragile and traumatized junkyard dog. So when it snaps, what else were you expecting? And then as I have to keep reiterating, there's no honor among thieves. All of you niggas was a den of thieves, right? Kind of manipulating, attempting to exploit each other or extract from each other at the expense of one another. But this is where the communication breaks down is what really ultimately led to this unfortunate situation, right? I think it could have been resolved with words rather than physical violence. But if this was the inevitable, how it had to take place, then we have to look at who all was culpable and who were the culprits. So it wasn't just those culprits who came and crashed out at the hotel. Gucci Mane, you were complicit as well. Your failure to do good business also led to this. Now, he's not at fault for someone robbing him and putting a gun to his head. He's just at fault for doing bad business and not maintaining a cohesive contractual work relationship, because it wasn't just Pooh, it was multiple of Gucci's artists that had complaints about the direction of the label. So Gucci Mane, yes, you were a victim, but you're not blameless in all of this. So let me play a little bit more.
So now what happens is a lot of these young guys, they don't understand business, so they only recourse is to go to street activity, right? So you think that you was going to take some weapons and force him into signing the contract and sign you out of the contract. That was your only way of doing it, right? Once you start signing contracts with the corporations, you got to do business, bro. All that street gangster stuff go out the door. So now you got to go through this, and you got to hope that they don't tell on you. Because if they do, you got like 6 counts of armed robbery and a kidnapping charge. That's a life sentence, man. While you was already on home confinement. And then you got people running their mouth all online, just telling everything. They telling stuff. They bringing up stuff that ain't had nothing to do with the case. That's not in nobody's courtroom. You got Gover Hernandez and having a conversation with academics talking about straight street stuff like this.
How did you know everything you told me is in the paperwork, bro?
Say, man, I asked the nigga, you knew Gotti's truck got shot up 50 times before anybody knew. Nigga, didn't nobody know Gotti Rolls Royce Bentley truck got. That nigga was the first nigga don't know to say it.
Wait, Gotti's truck got shot up? When?
You didn't know that? You didn't know that?
No, you keep bringing new information to the limelight.
Man,
We don't know.
He a real Memphis nigga.
Yeah. Gotti Rolls truck got right before Dolph got killed. Like, he ain't never reported. He got shot. He had to run flats on it, and Dolph had sent a little crew through. They caught him at the bank on Winchester. And they hit it up like, they hit it. But he was bulletproof, though. He was bulletproof.
He had a bulletproof Rolls Royce?
Yeah, the Rolls Royce truck.
Now, these are some alleged street niggas talking about street business. First of all, to a dweeb. And matter of fact, I'm pro nerd, so I'm promoting more of the ghetto geeks and urban nerds of the world. Even if you have a street background, you come from dilapidated buildings, Section 8 housing, project tenements, right? You should aspire to be a geek, because a lot of these cats that claim to be street, there's nothing street about them. Many of them are financially illiterate. A lot of these niggas can't read. Look at these niggas right here. Look what these street niggas did. Did all sorts of stupid stuff. A geek would have known that they're going to GPS track your ankle monitor. A geek would have known that they're going to ping your cell phone. A geek would have had a plot and a ploy to move strategically and to follow the number one hustle commandment, which is to not get caught. Which one would you rather be? A gangster that the streets respect, and you're in a prison cell with a bunch of dudes that at any time they would want to fondle your cheeks, right? Or you're a successful dude, has a job, a family, and living comfortable. I mean, which one sounds more desirable, right? A bunch of street niggas, man, I love fucking bad bitches. Nigga, why do you keep going back to jail? There's no bad bitches in jail. I love bad bitches. Nigga, you just spent 20 years in jail. Where were the bad bitches that remind me? Nigga, I'll get money. How? Nigga, you been in jail 10 years. What skills do you have? So yeah, like I said, street niggas are the new nerds. And nerds are making a comeback. Remember they had Revenge of the Nerds, right? I'm gonna have to say Return of the Nerds or Triumph of the Nerds. How about that?
It was bulletproof. Yeah, they pulled up on. They let out about 40, 50. I put the song on my page when Gotti talked about it.
Wait, he was in the vehicle?
Yeah, he was in it. He was in it. He was leaving the bank. It's in our discovery. I got it in black and white.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So right before Dolph died, Gotti's Rolls Royce gets shot up.
Rolls Royce truck get shot up on Winchester in Memphis, Tennessee. He was in town for an event for his family. So give me.
Well, my thing is, it's like if you a soldier in the field, right, and a soldier gets killed in the line of duty, a lot of times people are not sad, right? I mean, they're sad at the loss of life, but it's not just a months of mourning because they say, hey, this person was a soldier and they died an honorable death on the battlefield. If you watch any of these war movies and stuff, many of these soldiers, they think that it's a glorious honor to die in the battlefield or on the battlefield versus live to an old age and you die based off some type of ailment, right? Some people we grew up in saying, hey, we wouldn't expect to see 18 or 21 or 25, right? It's a concrete jungle. So some people internalize that and they move, behave, and live like animals, right? So if they're behaving and conducting themselves as animals, then, you're gonna have to deal with a zoo-like scenario, and that requires maybe not calling the cops, maybe not cooperating. And I don't think this is everyone, but it is some people. And if you're part of that cohort, then niggas die every day, B. Like there's really nothing to, you know, really be super saddened by. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but it's to be expected just as well as in Iran, right? It's a bunch of soldiers that are going to unfortunately meet their demise. Do you want it to happen? No, but you know that it comes with the territory is what they say. So if you're out there gang banging and slanging and you happen to get robbed, shot, popped or something, more sinister, unfortunately, people expect it. That's why they say if you can't stand the heat, then get out the kitchen. Athlete, family, scholastic community, but independent minded is that nerd. The streets protect some nerds if a nerd or geek is the exact description. Yeah, the real street cats, and this is why there were some real street dudes where they would identify a nerd, they would take them under their wing and they would ensure that this nerd is protected. Because even let's just say you was a street dude and you making all this money, but now it's time to legitimize and launder your money. Who is going to be able to help you do that? Another illiterate nigger from the hood or a geek from the hood? It's a bunch of geeks in the hood. Not everybody from the hood is just some street ruffian that's willing to bust a head. You know what I mean? It's so many sophisticated dudes from the hood, but some of them get caught up in the products and elements of their environment so that one 10, 20-second decision may cost them 10, 20 years of their life. But yeah, I am pro geek and pro nerd, and we need a lot more of them. And I think that the nerds need to start wearing their nerdiness and geekiness on their sleeves and be proud of it, right? Once a nigga's out there sagging his pants, sometimes having skid marks and shit stains, as goofy as it looks, a lot of them niggas are proud, right? They're proud to be miscreants and foolish looking thugs, right? Fine, let them be that. If you're a geek, be proud of it, right? Just because you're a geek, you don't have to dress like one. Won't you dress presentable? Get your hair cut up, fly, your line up, take care of your skin and all this other type of stuff. Go to the gym. So now you're a geek, but once this street dude tries to bully you, you can knock him out. bunch of street niggas can't fight because they're used to jumping niggas or pulling out a weapon. Well, you're a geek. You don't have any record. So you can go get a legal firearm. And once that street nigga runs up on you, you can say this phrase, I feared for my life. And once you fear for your life, you have to protect yourself because you don't want to be injured, face bodily harm or death. And then they will say, hey, look, I'm just a geek. He's a thug, right? So you actually have the advantage as a geek. Hit the gym. Not only that, you know, you can learn a lot of swag and a lot of sauce from the street cats, but you could apply it with a lot more eloquence because you have the balance of having that street savviness, but also the book smart. And usually geeks have their stuff together. So you can be the total package. Instead, sometimes many geeks, they get mad like, why is Pookie smashing all these chicks? I have a master's degree. Well, because you haven't fully embraced your nerdiness, right? Your nerdiness needs to come out in a different capacity, not in this kind of incel, I'm mad at the world stuff. You need to kind of hold your head high and say, hey, I'm a nerd. You are one of the distinguished gentlemen of society. And you need to start comporting yourself as such. But many nerds look down on themselves because, you know, they don't have successful experiences with women. Many of them are incels. They start turning in, listening to people like Nick Fagwentes and Amru Tether Foodle and Fresh and Misfit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, geek power. But how do 10 people show up to rob someone and not one of them have thought to stop by and say, maybe this is a bad idea? And this is what I'm trying to tell you. Stumbling, bumbling imbeciles. You can be the hardest. I will be the smartest. So this is what people want to respect. 10 goofy niggas getting locked up versus one nigga that's moving, ooving, and dooving, and I'm free. I'm successful. I've did my dirt, but I've laundered my dirt. Y'all niggas did dirt and got messy, and now y'all locked up. What is there to look up? Now his music sales and music streams are going through the roof. But will he be able to enjoy any of the fruits of his creativity? No. Some other non-black person will enjoy it most likely. Or maybe Gucci will enjoy it, the same person that he robbed and humiliated. And Red 6 says, I'm laughing because these dudes Xeroxed the contract at Office Depot and made it an official document, no lawyer or nothing. Well, apparently it wasn't at Office Depot, it was at Staples. And I think they went on ChatGPT, and shout out to ChatGPT because I use it all the time, but that is quite funny. They went on ChatGPT and asked for a termination contract and then went and printed it at Staples and then got a hotel nearby Staples to wait to pull off this heinous plot. How idiotic and pathetic could you be? But once again, you supposed to look up to this. These some street niggas, they'll pop you. Okay, fine. I fear for my life. So if those niggas get anywhere in my vicinity, hasta la vista, baby.
Give me the light at 30. Okay. And then if you see me go like I'm going to 60, hit me back at
Nah, that's crazy.
45.
Hey, how did you know that they had somebody like ready to get executed?
How did I know that? What now?
Because they kind of describe what you said, like they had somebody like that was about to execute him in that studio.
No. Talking about what I told you?
Yeah, it's in the paperwork.
I told you I know a couple people that's indicted on the case.
And I ain't gonna lie.
So again, where they do that at? DJ Academics is not only a tether, but he's a clown. He's not involved in the streets. So these are the same people that talk about black on black crime and degeneracy, but these are the only stories that they cover. There's multiple stories of black people saving lives, of black people winning spelling bees, creating inventions. DJ Academics doesn't talk about that. Charleston, Coonston, White, and Coonton Daniels, they don't talk about that. So they purposely look for salacious and, clickbaity comments to talk about the community. But you guys are everything that's wrong with the community. If what's they're describing in the streets is so bad, why would all of his content be devoted towards that? You're trying to push a narrative, but at the same time, act like you care about the community. And the dudes on the phone with them are alleged street dudes talking with a civilian square about a bunch of street shit. Same thing they do on Vlad TV. Vlad could ask whatever questions he wants. Why are you dweebs answering his questions? You have the right to remain silent. You can plead the fifth at any time. This is not just a court proceedings. You literally could answer the question. Next question, man. I ain't answering that. Hey, Vlad, man, what you trying to do, man? Hey, that seemed like a Fed type question. They can do that, but why won't they? See, these niggas like Pooh Shiesty will find a black dude and put a gun to his head. They wouldn't put a gun to DJ Vlad's or Adam 22's head. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying that they won't. They won't even stand up to them rhetorically, let alone physically. So what is there to respect again? You niggas are getting slapped around by some people with some tiny hats, but you want to step to a nigga like me that don't even got 1,000 subs? You can't challenge what I'm saying, so you'll try to challenge me with a firearm. Meanwhile, you're getting smacked up around somebody with a tiny hat. You got on a shiesty mask, but somebody with a tiny hat is over there buck breaking you, but I'm supposed to respect you? I'm a thug. Yeah, until you get buck broken by the small hats. They show you who the real thugs are. I'm going to play a little bit more of this, and then I'm going to play because these niggas are too low IQ for me.
They said they took his earrings too.
Hey, if I tell you a duck can pull a truck, hook them, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I'm gonna give you, come on, your channel one of the, I'm gonna give you the real. I ain't gonna give you no bullshit.
How the heck you know all that?
Man, hey, I'm tapped in, bro. Like I ain't involved in all of this shit by coincidence. Like I'm knee deep in the streets, Don't nothing pass me.
See, we're in an era now where everybody just do talking. You know where I come from, man, right here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're in is this the year of the rat? Shout out to the Chinese New Year. Like, what year is this, bruh? Because it seems like ratting is just like a sport and no one cares about rats. 6ix9ine ratted. Nobody cared really like that. Charleston, Coonston, White. People are quick to try to interview him. He ratted. So people don't really care about rats anymore. You know, the whole snitches get stitches. No, snitches get invited on podcasts, right? I never told on anybody, but since people don't like what I have to say, you know, I may not get the recognition. But if I talk about baby mama culture and black on black crime, I probably would be at 10K subs by now. So I'm going to go ahead and transition. And actually, before I hit the final story, I did want to bring this up because I did want to discuss how we can handle conflicts without violence. And I know some people say violence isn't the answer. I say violence isn't the answer, but it's always an option. Violence is an option that's always on the table, whether you want it to be or not. It is. Maybe it should be on the table at appropriate times, and sometimes maybe not. But whether you like it or not, violence is always an option. So I'm going to go through some ways that we can get over having contentious conflicts and issues with each other without having it have to resort to violence, right? So people who live through instability often expect danger, disrespect, or betrayal. Before any real conversation can happen, they need to feel safe enough to lower their guard. Now, most of the times these conflicts happens because people have trust issues, but when you have a trust issue, it's imperative that you communicate the mis and distrust so that you guys can come to a solution and that we can kind of talk out where are the areas where there's confusion or mistrust so that we can come to some sort of understanding and or agreement, right? So to create safety, speak calmly and slowly, keep your body language open and non-threatening, avoid sudden movements or raised voices, give physical space, use simple and clear language. This isn't about talking down, it's about removing ambiguity, which reduces fear. Okay, so I'm back. It looks like I had to join, not in mute, Roger. Actually, my Wi-Fi on my desktop went out, so I just had to join from my phone. So I'm just gonna go through. I'm just gonna do the audio, and then I'm gonna shut it down simply because my Wi-Fi is acting up. So right now, what I'm talking about is how to deal with a conflict without it turning into violence. And since my Wi-Fi is acting up, I'm just going to go through this and then I'll shut the stream down. But don't trip. I will come back and give y'all a special Easter Sunday treat, right? So use respect as non-negotiable. Many people from impoverished, marginalized backgrounds have experienced disrespect, whether it be from institutions, authority figures, or society at large. So even a hint of condescension can trigger defensiveness because it is insulting to someone to be kind of condescending. Sometimes I like to use sarcasm and be facetious, but if someone doesn't know where you're coming from, it could come off as just disrespect and condescension, right? Now, you can show respect by listening without interrupting, by avoiding jargon and overly complex explanations. You don't need to use huge words so you're trying to sound fancy. You want to try to speak to people in a manner which they can understand, rather than trying to talk in a eloquent, articulate way that may be confusing for people. Don't assume their intentions. Instead of telling them, ask them, right? Respect is the currency that buys cooperation, right? So if you want someone to cooperate and collaborate with you, respect is the least that you can start with. And it's free to respect someone. So it is a form of currency that you can use freely. So focus on the issue and not the person. And mind you, we're going through how we can solve heated conflicts without violence. So shame is a powerful trigger for anyone, but especially for people who's been judged or dismissed throughout life. Try this. So the problem is the situation, not you. So speaking of this Pooh Shiesty thing, the problem was the contract, not Gucci Mane, right? Even though Gucci Mane, you know, could have had some insidious dealings with the contract. When we're trying to come to an understanding, sometimes you have to massage egos and you have to do, I would say, constructive gaslighting, because no one wants to be gaslit, but there is a form of what they call flattery, or let's just say gaslighting flattery, right? This shifts the dynamic from an adversarial tone to a more collaborative tone. Because if it's adversarial, then you're competing as a rival, and adversaries are trying to compete, conquer, and dominate one another rather than collaborate. So give choices and not ultimatums. People who grew up with little control over their lives, they often react to strong feelings of being cornered, and you can offer options like, hey, we can talk now or we can take a break and come back. Would you rather explain your side first or should I? Choices restore dignity. So in this situation, Gucci Mane, obviously they met under false pretenses, because if Gucci knew that he was going to get robbed, then he obviously wouldn't have even met with Pooh Shiesty. But offering these choices where you can say, hey, look, this is my side of the contract and this is why I numbered it or worded it this way. Let me hear your choice and what could I do to help rectify this situation so that we can repair the damage in this relationship. Offer some choices. The only choices that Pooh Shiesty offered was a pistol to the dome or a knife in the back. Everybody got choices. So I guess he did offer some choices after all. Set boundaries without threats. Boundaries are healthy. Threats escalate. Healthy boundaries is an example. I want to keep this conversation respectful. If it gets heated, I'll need to pause and return when we're both calmer. That's an example of a healthy boundary. An unhealthy threat is, if you don't calm down, I'm done with you. So, like I said, you want to set a healthy boundary, but you don't want to give an unhealthy threat or an ultimatum, especially when your ultimate goal is to come together to find a greater solution, not to drive people further apart. Now, boundaries protect both people. It's not one-sided. You're creating the boundary to protect the sanctity and the foundation of the relationship. It's not supposed to create a boundary that is only preferential and favorable to one person. Also, you want to seek understanding before solutions. People from the hood, the streets, and other difficult backgrounds often feel unheard. So when you take the time to understand their perspective, it lowers the defensiveness and it opens the door for problem solving. So if people are already on guard and got that Heisman stiff arm, then they ain't really trying to hear what you're trying to say, because it's a tug of war, and what you're saying is going one ear and out the other. So in terms of something called reflective listening, what you want to say is repeat back, hey, this is what I'm hearing. Well, it sounds like you felt this way. Well, did I get that right? What you mean by that is this. So it's a reflective listening where you're listening and you do, I will also say it's a clarifying listening where you want to listen to them, but you also want to clarify what's being said. That ensures that you interpreted and comprehended what they said in its proper context, because you may comprehend the words, but the context of what they said could get a little bit skewed. Understanding doesn't mean agreeing, it means connecting. You can understand what someone was saying. Understanding doesn't inherently mean agreement, right? Build trust through consistency. Trauma teaches people that promises break and people disappear. Trust grows from repeated, predictable behavior. So be consistent in your tone, your follow through, your boundaries, your expectations. Trust is the long game. So if we're building a business or something, I'm not only wanting to trust you for one month or 1 year. We're playing the long game. So I expect to have a long established relationship, and that's going to require follow through, wherewithal, boundaries, expectations. So trust is a imperative, crucial currency. So don't take it lightly. Recognize the larger context. Poverty, trauma, and the lack of education shape how people interpret conflict. So when you keep that context in mind, you respond with more empathy and less frustration. Now, this doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it does explain it. So when people will try to say, hey, why is this kid failing in school? Well, he grew up in a fatherless home in a impoverished area surrounded by dilapidated buildings with a failing school. So it doesn't excuse the harmful behavior, but it does give a rationale as to why this person's life has a particular trajectory. Lead with humanity. At the end of the day, people respond to being treated like human beings with inherent worth. So when someone feels seen, respected, and safe, conflicts become solvable instead of explosive. So there was a lot of disrespect in this particular Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane situation. There was a lot of miscommunication, misinterpretation. So I don't know if it could have been resolved. However, if the steps to attempt to resolve the whatever misunderstanding or skirmish or kerfuffle, I think this could have went, they could have went their separate ways without the violence and all of the added turmoil. So right now, I'm going to get ready to shut it down. My Wi-Fi was tripping. It looked like it came back on, but I don't really want to risk it. Actually, hold on. Let me see. It might be back on, but I had one more story, but I'm just probably going to save that story for tomorrow just because I don't want to risk the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to just get ready to shut it down. I'm going to try to read these from my computer, but I do appreciate y'all. So let me get ready to shut it down. And yeah. Hey. B-Eazy Dat Dude, yeah. Hey.
just saying, man, like Goku. Bad bitches at the house with me watching Netflix on Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God it was so cool. Street legend, real boss, I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on shite racket and fly back out to Milwaukee. When they hear me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the drawer is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so high, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hear me flow, say I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the drawer is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so high, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up.
Feel me? Ooh, ooh, ooh. B-Eazy Dat Dude, yeah. B-Eazy.
Oh, B-Eazy. We all here to see B-Eazy. We wanna listen to B-Eazy. Ayy. We all like B-Eazy, nah, matter of fact, we love B-Eazy, believe me, he really that dude. Subscribe to the channel, it's easy to do if you care. This fire content extraordinarily rare. That's why I put that on my mama, he is that dude. I put that on my daddy, he is that dude. So B-Eazy, tell me how it feel? Ooh, tell me how it feel to be real, to be real, to be really that dude.
B-Eazy, B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude. That dude, B-Eazy, he is the one that you can call so he can get the job done. He about to reign supreme if you thought his run would soon end. He just getting started though, so go ahead and tune in. B-Eazy, B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, 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 he is that dude.
If you feel the vibe, like, share, and subscribe. We growing on this journey. Come and take a ride. If you wanna slide with that dude, be easy. We going all the way to the top, believe me. All the way to the top, believe me.
B-Eazy Dat Dude, boy, stop playing. You know you dat dude and been dat dude. Back in the day, he was that dude. Fast forward to today, he's still that dude. Yup, dat dude. You can see as clear as day that he here to stay. Either get with the program or move out the way.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Follow. Be easy. You know you want to.
We're waiting.
You love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.